Mezerack, your nightmares began a few weeks past, and they have kept you sleepless. Circumstances of your dreams and the beasts that you face are always different, but one thing is the same. A looming ziggurat, subsumed by the jungle, and an alluring woman that leads you to your demise. After weeks of this, you sought help. The graybeards at the tavern warned that the place you described is called the White Ziggurat. No one has ever been inside and come back to tell of it. Archwizards, well-traveled guides, Flaming Fist, and others have journeyed there hoping to find secrets or treasure in an untouched ruin, but none have returned. Intrigued and set on ending your nightmares, you chartered a party and headed south along the river Shoshin Star, passing the remnants of Camp Righteous and Camp Vengeance over 2 weeks of travel. With the experience of you and your friends, you avoid the worst of the jungle's threats, avoiding the thunder lizards that make the jungle their home, marauding Yuan-Ti and goblins, soaring terrorfolk. But it is not without incident. One night, a gibbon steals Mezerack's hat. How does Mezerack react to this?
So what did you say steals it?
A gibbon, so like a little monkey.
Yeah, absolutely. He's furious. He's like just before he was about to he had taken out his plates about to create Lehman's hut, and he's get back here, and he begins to like hobble out into a little bit out into the dark as he's like sort of like cursing, and he looks back towards the rest of his comrades, and he says, "Aren't you going to help? Aren't you going to help?"
The gibbon has his hat and climbs up into a tree and almost seems like he's teasing Mezerack with it.
Sienna will mage hand it out of the gibbon's hand and try to pull it back.
It shrieks as its toy is stolen away, but seeing it float away, it just like goes back into the trees, and the night passes without incident after. Mezerack, as you lay your head down to sleep, the dreams return.
Absolutely, and as it's the thing that's strange is every single time for the last couple of weeks it's been a different location. It's been, you know, on the edge of the shore. It's been this this white ziggurat, or it's been even inside the city of Nianzaro. It's appeared as well, but this time it's the same vision that he's had only once before, and that is it's within the jungle, you know, and it's just so familiar to him, and he's just he senses, he doesn't even see, he senses the woman, this beautiful woman who's just like who's moving behind him as he just like just wakes up in like a pool of sweat, and he's like just grasping around himself.
Yes, you wake up and you see that you had actually been moving in your sleep and had taken your map out of your pack and scrawled to the south within the jungle is a black sketched out X. You know where, you knew generally where it was. The Greybeards had told you that it was deep within the jungle, near the Aldani basin, but it seems that something is sending you a message.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, normally she would have. She loves her. He loves his sleep, so he would not be one to wake the others. But he just whacks Sienna, who's laying just to the side of him, just like whacks Sienna and says, "Look, come on. This is it's clearer to me now. I know those those old adventurers had said generally in this direction, but it is specifically here, as he points down towards the map.
You've better be damn sure, old man, if you're going to wake me out of my beauty sleep. Oh, yeah. Fine, show me the map.
Yeah.
You see a scrawled X. It's an area of the jungle that you haven't bothered to go into before. To the west of the River Shoshin Star, south along like the edge between the marshy swamp of the basin and the deep jungle. From what you know, there aren't any like noteworthy landmarks down there. It's just dense, dark jungle that people don't go into because they're likely to get lost.
Absolutely. Is this still like the middle of the night type of thing?
Yeah, if you woke some people up right after you found the scrawled X.
Okay. Okay, cool. He uneasily, because I mean he's even the heat, even within the Learman's hut, which Sienna had created that we're inside, is even within this hut, which is like dry and comfortable, it's still just the heat, you know, is of the jungle generally, is kind of getting to him. So he sort of as best as possible tries to bed down, hoping, praying that he doesn't enter in another one of these dreams, actually.
Yep. You close your eyes, and shorter than you would have liked, the light of dawn hits your face and wakes you, and you all continue down the river. Eventually, you come to the edge, the mouth of the River Shoshin Star, where it like spreads out into the muddy waters of the Aldani Basin. You know that this X is off to the west, due west from this location. So how are you going to secure your boat and make sure it's there when you return? If you're going to go after this X.
Absolutely. Just as we bring it up onto the bank, and Mezerack's pointing out to Darby and to Akira in that direction, he says, I've heard rumors. I'm not too sure, but I've heard rumors that it's also a possibility to our raft, our canoe, to put it higher up, possibly. Perhaps ours is too big. I'm not too sure. What do you think? How's the best way to put this away?
Put it up in the trees. Yeah, you could do that. Somebody give me an athletics check to try to get it up there, and an intelligence check to try to set up the pulleys. Actually, intelligence first, and if you succeed on that, then it'll be advantage on the strength.
Can we use my riding lizard to help pull the ropes as well, since it's like
that would actually
20 feet long and a large-sized creature?
Yep. Somebody give me an intelligence check.
Sienna, you want to go for it, or one of you guys?
I guess Sienna will, because I think she's fairly smart. Intelligence check. 17.
Yeah, you set it up so that the ropes are going to be much easier to pull for whatever pack animal pulls them. And your lizard, what does it look like?
He is a large, it's a riding lizard. It's a long, kind of squat lizard, about 20 feet long, kind of wider in the middle than it is on its long neck or tail, with a flat, almost reptilian version of like a bulldog face.
Okay, so you hook it up to the boat and you hand the lizard the rope, and it obediently pulls. Has advantage on an athletics check.
Athletics, alrighty.
Get the boat up.
That would be its strength.
While he's doing that, Davi's going to take the 10 minutes to summon his steed as well.
Okay.
Okay, got a 20.
Yeah, it just lugs it up. This rather large boat pretty effectively pulled up there, and you're able to tie it off securely so that it could be brought down quickly, and it'll stay up there even if the wind takes it or something like that. It won't get blown. It won't get washed away by any floods either. So you secure the boat, and the path ahead of you is essentially deep, unmarked, dark forest. So somebody's going to have to give me a survival check to avoid getting lost on the way to this X. It's about midday, so you have plenty of time to travel.
Is it possible for whoever rolls it, whoever's like leading, whether it's Davi or whoever, is can Mezerack assist with guidance? I don't know if guidance would help with this check or maybe not.
Yeah, it would. And somebody can assist since there isn't anything pressing. So whoever makes the survival check can do it with advantage and with guidance.
Davi licks his finger and sticks it in the air and goes, I have no idea.
What do you say? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not a
Mezerack says, out the way. He says, okay, let me see. This on the map here, and then he rolls. I'll roll for it. So he does 13. Oh, sorry. Advantage. So that is 16, 17 plus 1d4. 17. So that's 18.
18. So you head west with the sun, following it as it sets. The first night you rest, and you're within the Lehman's tiny hut, and you see figures just like herding past you, but paying you no mind. Just like shuffling steps. But in the morning, there's no threat nearby, just many, many footsteps, footprints in the mud. Okay. So you wake up the next morning, and you continue on your path, and eventually you come to a clearing, and you're greeted by this clearing is dominated by this great alabaster ziggurat overgrown by the forest, and Mezerack, you just like your eyes grow wide as it's immediately recognizable. It's more rundown and basically broken down by the elements than in your dreams, but you recognize it. It's just bright white, almost like it's glowing in the jungle, in the darkness of the jungle.
Absolutely. You see that there's like there's two things that come over him actually. There's a strong fear that is that everyone can see. He doesn't try to hide it. There's like a fear that comes over, but there's like an anger as well as he puts his hand to his neck. He tries to focus his mind as he starts to go over his mantra of Morden Canine, Otter, all the archmages. He starts to just under his breath to go through as we head in that direction.
Mm-hmm. This thing is about 150 feet tall. It's large, but the trees are about as large. It's old forest that throws shade on this pyramid. If you get closer, you see that the steps that lead up and up and up and up are worn down and smoothed by rain and wind. This thing is old, and the stone is bleached white from the sun. So what do you guys do?
Can I say the last
Nothing.
thing?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, just the last thing that Mezerack would say is he's told, just so you know, he's told all of you fully, like in detail about his dreams, you know, and he's not only explained to his dreams like from this angle, but he's like, and this could have been possibility, and we're looking at it from this way and from just different angles, like really trying to dissect the possible meanings of his dreams. But one of the things he did say was about the traps. So he said, in this dream, some of these traps you really got to look out for them. Says that was it. Awesome.
If she can, we'll send Rig, her familiar, ahead to try to like scout out at least like from the air, look around the outside, see if he notices anything of important.
Okay. So your familiar takes wing, flutters up and up and up. As it kind of like climbs up and circles around the pyramid, it sees that this white stone that continues up and up and up. At the top, it's almost like the top is painted black, and you see a white sword on a pedestal, as well as an ornate carved door that leads somewhere. It's closed, and it's basically like this covered veranda at the top of the Ziggurat with like an altar.
Does it look like there's stairs leading up to the specific veranda, or
yes?
Does it, so, what relay
It's not
all
like
this
a veranda,
information?
it's like the top is covered with like a roof, and it leads into like this basically like the top level of the Ziggurat, this door.
She relays all this to the group as she sees it.
Okay. So you guys are here. It's disconcerting, just like being here. You can't put your finger on it. It isn't just Mezerack that is feeling kind of uneasy. The thing that you notice is that it's silent except for the winds, and that the canopy is just getting blown around, almost like a storm's coming in, but the sky is clear blue. So what do you guys do?
What's the ground cover? Is it like a grassy field, or is it like stone pavers?
It's thick undergrowth, but it's not going to like affect your movement necessarily. It's like ferns and stuff like that, like a clearing in the forest, but there's still like stuff growing.
Yeah, Dobby will. I'll send my raptor ahead of me to kind of just lead the way.
Okay.
If it trips a trap, at least it goes first.
Yeah, the raptor will act as your minesweeper as you go up these steps. It's almost smooth, like it was once stone steps, but it's just so old that the steps are almost slippery. But you don't have too much trouble getting up there. You get to the top and you see that the ground almost seems like it's painted black, and there's this bright ivory white sword, ornate and carved on a stand on top of an altar, and behind it is a door with the likeness of a woman. Mezerack, you recognize basically like you can't you don't say that you've seen this face before, but like it seems familiar to you for some reason. It's like this face surrounded by like loving worshippers that are like carved into this stone door. But among the stone people that are like worshiping, there is one man who looks like he's like held down and stabbed through with a sword, and there's like this deep gash in the stone.
Sienna casts Detect Magic on the sword.
Yeah, you see that the sword has what would it be?
Well, I mean, she does the ritual.
Abjuration magic
Abjuration.
cast on it, and the door is also leaking abjuration magic.
What did you
Are we
find?
talking a short sword or a long
Well,
sword?
Good news is,
It's a
I
long
think I
sword.
found the key. Bad news is someone has to get stabbed.
You see that the man who was slashed open on the door, the hole looks as though the sword would likely fit.
Second good news, it's him.
Dobby grabs the sword.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah, Kira picks up the sword and puts it into the hole, and the door goes down into the floor, and before you is this dark, this pitch black vestibule, and the only light that pierces through the darkness is this door that you just opened, obstructed by your own shadows. There are unlit sconces mounted on the four walls, and there is a 5x5 hole in the floor. It looks like it goes down about 10 feet and then opens to blackness. You can't really see unless you have dark vision, then you can see. You can see the bottom. There's stone floor similar to the one that you're standing on right now. And as you kind of like look through this door, you're kind of like puzzled by what this like dark paint on the top of the pyramid might have been, and you kind of put it together. Maybe this was the blood of old, just like painted across the top of this place as people are sacrificed, and even after all this time, it's still stained.
Wow.
Sienna thinks to herself for a second. Then she looks at Rig. Then Rig gets a very unhappy look on his little bird face. And she casts light on Rig and sends him scouting down the hole.
Okay, you cast light on Rig, and he goes down into the hole. He looks around, and with the light, is he trying to be stealthy?
I mean, it's kind of hard when he's glowing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So he goes down into the hole, and he's immediately greeted by many, many, many zombies. It's like swarms of zombies down there.
He will let
You
out
see
a
he
very
would stay down there.
he will let out a very loud caw and then fly back as fast as he can.
Yeah, he comes back up, and like you hear the shuffling, just like converging below this hole in the ground. But then you hear like this rumbling, shaking, like rock on rock, and like some sort of shifting beneath you, and you hear the zombies basically like become a little farther away, and you see that the passage that you had just sent Rick down into, and they just exited, it almost seems like it shifts, like almost like when you see an elevator like go up and you can basically it doesn't align anymore. It's like moving.
It's really clear.
Yeah.
You could be screwed.
And you hear like for like a little while, and then stops, and you see a another opening.
She repeats the process, sends Rig down.
Okay, you send Rig down, and as you cast light, you notice that the pyramid itself is reacting to your magic. So before Rig goes down, you just see it like shift again before you can even get down there.
Can she make an Arcana check to
Yeah, sure.
figure anything out about this?
Okay.
I got an 18.
18. It seems like there's some sort of magical contraption within this pyramid where the levels within are almost like on a wheel, like some sort of arcane wheel that reacts to spell casting. And when a spell is cast, it shifts 90 degrees. Kind of like this square wheel that like shifts 90 degrees, and there's 4 sides to it. So every time you cast a spell, basically everything gets shifted 90 degrees.
Sienna gets a very big grin on her face and says, "This is going to be very interesting, boys. It is a magically activated mechanism for shifting an entire level of the pyramid, a 90-degree rotation on a command."
So how would we? How many times would we have to cast for it to come back to the original?
I would assume 2 more times.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
It seems like it reacts to cantrips as well.
Hmm.
So
Sienna, oh, go ahead.
the last thing I was just going to say was just that Mezerack just looks down to where Akira had, just to check for Akira.
Yeah, Akira basically went down into like the first area where it doesn't shift quite yet. Like Akira, what are you trying to do? You trying to look down there? Okay. So you look down there and you see it almost seems like some sort of maze-like corridor. You look in, you don't see any immediate threats, but it's pitch black. It's really, really, really dark. Yeah, you can see some sconces. You can see some sconces nearby that you could light. Basically, it's like this maze-like corridor where if it did shift, you would be able to avoid falling to your death or something like that, and basically like jump onto one of the outcroppings on the walls so that you don't fall down a hallway or something like that, you know. And it seems like the shift isn't like immediate, so there's like a way to react to it. So that's what you glean. They're like, it's like a 20 by 20 room, and then there's like a hallway that leads away. Okay.
Sienna will like pull out a rope to, attach like her grappling hook to the floor as best she can so she can descend. And you're like, well, at least this one's not full of the undead, so I guess we should at least start here.
Yes, good idea, but I would like a little time. She she's saying to Sienna and Darby, of course, but shouting down to Akira, if it would be possible for me to have a little time to prepare some things. If not, but if it's possible, it would be useful.
Like she's just about to hop down. They're like,
Yeah,
well,
sorry.
I guess so. How's that sound to you, Akira? She hollers down there.
Yeah, so the hallway's flat like you would expect it. It's not like flipped on its side so you'll fall down a hallway or anything like that. It's just like a regular kind of space. Give me a perception check as you're down there. And a stealth check if you're trying to be sneaky. Okay, so 20, you hop down there. You look around with your Calic eyes. You can hear the shuffling before you can see them. Like you crawl across the ceiling. It's a low ceiling. It's like a 10-foot ceiling. So if something were to be like on the floor, spider climb's gonna be really useful, by the way. So if something is like on the floor and trying to reach up at you, it could still attack you without disadvantage, basically. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, you climb along the ceiling and you hear the shuffling before you can see anything. And you kind of like climb along until you get to the edge of your dark vision and you see a crowd of zombies. It doesn't seem like they're moving. They're just kind of like huddled together as if hibernating or something like that. They haven't been disturbed, basically. Okay.
When you get back, you see that Mezerack is down by the floor with his these steel plates out, and he seems to be just going over one spell and then the next, just as like a preparation. And just as you came in, he had just finished you doing Ruri's telepathic bond. So now our communication, he says, now our communication will be, if any of us are lost, we will be able to communicate. There's no problem with this. And he would like to continue up until 40 minutes, but if it's not possible, it's not possible. He's ready to go whenever you guys are.
There's just like this feeling of unease, but nothing accosts you when you're at the top of the pyramid. If you do wait 40 minutes.
So then, if that's okay with Darby and Akira.
Yeah, Darby's just gonna stand at the door of the Ziggurat and face outward. Just keep guard.
Excellent. So everyone, even if it's not necessary, everyone has water breathing for 24 hours, just in case we fall. Yeah, and we have a telepathic link that we can talk at any time. Anytime anything's going on, we can be communicating for sure. And then the last two things he does just before we get to move, which is the shortest, is he does detect magic, which he uses for any magical traps 30 distance, and comprehend languages, just in case we come across any inscriptions or anything like this from another language, and that's it. And he's ready to roll.
Okay. So you guys are ready. How are you going to get down there? I know Kira can use spider climb.
How far down is the hole?
10 feet.
Davi jumps down.
Well, actually,
Davi jumps
I guess
down
it wouldn't
first.
be 10 feet because, like, the passageway that, like, stays there is, like, 10 feet, and then it would be 10 feet after. So it'd be, like, a total of a 20-foot.
Davi jumps down.
Okay. Give me a dex save. It's 20 feet.
$5.
Okay. You take 2 damage. You turn your knee a little bit, but you land alright enough.
3-point landing, and then I realize that's a bad idea.
Yep.
Mezerack wouldn't let him go alone, even though this is a thing. He sees him drop to youngsters. What is this? And he waves his hand and says, Korea. And this mage armor goes around him. And you see him holding his staff, and he sort of tries to lower him down, just so he goes to like hanging. He's like his back cricks out a bit as his like feet are dangling, and then he just like lets go. So
Davi sticks his arms out to catch him.
Okay,
give me a dex save with advantage.
Excellent. First one was an let's see. Dex save would be 1 second. 19, 20, 21. Yeah, I'll take that. 21.
Sienna just takes the rope down like she had planned to earlier. That's been sitting there the whole time.
Yeah, Mezerack, you take half of 3 damage, so you take one falling damage as he like catches you, and you get a little whiplash, but you're fine.
Sienna just kind of like shakes her head, looks at the rope, looks at y'all.
Okay, if you guys want to be stealthy down here, I'm gonna need a group stealth check.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and assume I can't fit the raptor and the lizard down here, can they?
No. Any large creature won't fit through here.
So Sienna will leave Strider and Turok up at the top.
The hallway is about 10 by 10.
Yeah, I'll leave my
like
raptor.
the passageway is 5 by 5. So it's like a tight fit. Okay, what did everybody else get? 18. Yeah, 2 of you passed, so that's enough for the group to pass. So you guys kind of like keep together, trying to be as quiet as you can. How are you gonna try to see down here? It's pitch black, and some of you don't have night vision, dark vision.
Davi just pops his mace, and it's bright light for 20 feet and dim light for another 20.
Nice. So as you pop your mace, you notice shambling figures like at the edge of the light, and they all just like turn and face you almost at once with bright red eyes, and their jaws just almost unhinge, and simultaneous shriek rises as you alert them to your presence with the light.
Sienna cast Flaming Sphere right in front of the group.
Yep. Roll initiative.
A 5-foot diameter sphere of fire is now in front of the undead, blocking them.
Okay. Okay, what did everybody get for initiative?
Roll.
Four for Davi.
4.
14.
Okay. 14 for Sienna. And then 20 for Akira. What did Mezerack get?
18.
18. Okay. Akira. Okay. Did I even roll these guys in this shit? I thought I did. Okay, I guess I gotta roll it. Okay. Okay. Top of the initiative, Akira, you see just like a swarm of zombies at the end of this hallway, as well as two taller, more agile-looking zombies just like amongst them. What do you do? They're about 30 feet away from you.
Oh.
Down the hallway. Okay. Go ahead.
Did I get my flamethrower off first, or did the zombies
No.
act too fast?
No, they got alerted with the light. If you had done it before he did the light, that would have been a surprise round. Like, you would have cast it, and then they would have been alerted. So go ahead and give me a roll, Kira. 18 hits. You aim for like the taller ones that kind of stick out to you, and you nail one of them. How much damage do you do? No sneak attack though. Six. Chunk. You nail one of them right in the shoulder, and it just it echoes through the hallway. Next up is that guy's turn. He is going to come barreling out of this swarm, going for whoever is in the front.
That would be Davi.
I'm guessing that'd be Davi. He's going to try to hit him with a 17.
Yeah, that's my AC.
Okay. Give me a con save.
Is it a disease or a poison?
That's a good question. I don't think it's a poison.
Okay, if it's a disease, I'm immune to it.
I don't think it's a disease either. This guy's a ghoul, so whatever innate ability ghouls have, I'm not really sure if it would be a disease or a poison.
Let me... it's going to be a 13.
So that's a pass. It like slashes into you, doing 8 damage, but you avoid the deadly paralysis that tries to inflict on you.
That was 8 damage?
Yes, 8. Mezerack, it's your turn.
So Mezerack sees this lumbering creature come forward and just like into Davi as he puts his hand against the side of this like dank wall to support himself, and pushing forward his staff, he casts web, and these silk small webs come shooting out, really fine webs come shooting out past this creature, 30 feet to where the mass, specifically where the other large one was, the mass of these creatures were, for a 20-foot cube to do a web spell.
Okay. What save is that? Is that dex save?
That would be save dexterity, sorry.
Okay. So Davi is like holding off this hallway here, and you cast a web spell down there. It's a dex save.
Yeah, and they're restrained if they're otherwise.
Fail for the swarm. And for the ghoul, a pass with the 17. 17. Okay. Yeah. So you see like the large amount of zombies just get like wrapped up and kept restrained. It's 20 by 20, right? So like there's like kind of like this vestibule where they're kind of congregating down this hallway. You see that the hallway stretch. There's like a one that branches off to the right as well. So it's like a corner down there where they all are.
Brilliant.
They just hit with the web spell. Does that like make it difficult terrain or anything like that?
So it's going to be difficult terrain, especially for those. And they have to do a save, I think, for those that start their rounds within it to break out and so on sorts of business. But I'll triple check.
Okay. Okay. So you cast web and seems like it's highly effective. What's up?
Yeah, he stays where he is. He wants to stay quite relatively close to where Darby is, even though his instincts are like, I want to get out of here. His neck is prickling also, but he's like, no. He just tries to. He wants to stay quite close within. Yeah, just where he is.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of stay back in this like vestibule where it's a little wider and there's like some cover. Davi basically blocks off the hallway. It's a 10 by 10 hallway, keeping the school back and whatever else comes. Next up is the swarm. They're restrained. So do they make a save at the end of their turn to get unrestrained?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Okay. They're still restrained. Good move. Sienna, it's your turn.
Alright, seeing that Mezerack's just filled the hallway full of a very flammable web, can she retract the fireball of the flaming sphere she was going to cast something else?
Yeah. Flaming spear would also be effective for setting stuff on fire.
Yeah,
it's this like web mess is like 30 feet away from you. It's not like among you.
Yep, if I set it on fire, it will let the zombies free.
But you can
that's also true, and then you'll have flaming zombies.
Do as you will. Mezerack says, you know he's called that. Do what you want to do.
And I guess, do you say how wide is the hallway?
10 by 10, and it's 30 feet down to this corner where the swarm is.
All right, so it's 10 feet wide. I guess she will cast a flaming sphere at the head of the group, blocking off 5 feet of it because a 5-foot diameter ball of fire appears there.
Okay.
All right, and then I guess as a bonus action, I guess I will slam it into the group. Oh, I guess the first one in the line, dealing some damage to it.
Okay.
Yes.
It needs to make a dex save.
DC 14 for half.
Okay. It fails.
All right. Flaming sphere.
And I'm gonna say it sets the entire web on fire once it hits that guy.
Yeah, everything, anything within 5 feet of it at the end of the turn, at the end of their turn.
That's 2d4 extra damage.
All right, let me roll. All right, 7 damage.
Okay, 7. So it's gonna be 7 on that guy. Are you going for like the swarm, or are you going for the taller, nastier looking one?
The swarm, just like placing it down there to kind of block off like half the hallway with just pure ball of fire.
Okay.
And any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet must repeat the dexterity save and take 2d6 fire damage.
Okay. And it'll also cause everything in the space to get d6 damage at the end of its turn. Whatever goes through it or starts there. So I'm just going to do that for the swarm and the ghoul now. Both get 5 fire damage as well. Okay. All right. So You see these guys just like in this quagmire of muck, burning, just like the smoke assaulting your senses and making it difficult to see. It's just like it's dark and smoky, and you're having trouble breathing, and you feel really claustrophobic. And the shrieking is just growing louder and louder, and you hear additional footsteps from around that corner as the second swarm goes through the webbing and has to make a save as it tries to get to you. And it fails.
Alright, they're 2d6.
All right.
7 again.
All right. 7 on them. Let me get an extra d6. Take 4 more. Okay. And they are also restrained, so they can't get to you. This web spell is so fucking clutch, man.
And now it's
All
on
right.
fire.
Yeah,
It's a burning
an
net.
on fire web spell. Okay, this guy's not restrained, and he's already taken his extra d6 damage this turn since I rolled it all together. So he's going to charge in. He's going to go after Davi as well, since he is blocking off the hallway, and he is like the most immediate threat. 13 misses. So like strikes out at Davi. Your plate catching this these ragged nails as they try to dig into you, and you just hear as it scratches along like a knife on an iron plate. But I can't do anything else holding these 2 guys off. Okay, it's your turn, Davi. You have 2 guys in melee with you.
All right, so they're like right in front of me then.
Yep.
All right, I will Dragon's Breath on both. It'll be a DC
Okay.
14 dex save.
Dex saves fail. Oh, actually, no, not fail. 16. These aren't zombies, so they have better dex.
Beats it.
16 and then 23. So they both
shit.
save.
I guess that's some real dex, man. All right, so they'll take
The second
half
one
damage.
critted. Okay.
It'll be 12 damage. So half to 6.
So half. Okay. Yeah, they both look bloodied. They're pretty well injured. Anything else you want to do?
No, that's going to be it for me.
Okay. So with all this shrieking and yelling and noise, you see through the red flame and smoke of this clusterfuck at the end of the hallway. Green flame come flicking within the smoke, difficult to see. What would it do?
Does Sienna recognize this as a spell?
It is
Yeah, it's
not a
Mezerack.
spell
Ooh.
right now. No, it's Mezerack. Yeah, no. It is like floating above the webbing, and you see it like floating around in the air. This like little skull with red eyes and green flame, just like billowing from the top of its head, and it turns. And it is going to cast Fireball.
Is it a spell or a spell-like ability?
That is a spell.
Counter
It
spell.
casts a spell. Okay. So it casts Fireball and you counterspell it. It just goes this green fireball coming closer and closer. And what does it look like when you counterspell it?
Sienna just gets this arrogant smirk on her face. She says a few extra words and just snaps her fingers, and it poofs out of existence.
It just like dissipates, like it hit a wall, just turns into like this wall of green flame and then dissipates before it hits anybody. And this floating skull doesn't react. I mean, it can't react. So what would it do? It's gonna hide back around. What's its intelligence? Let me check. Be smart enough to take cover. Oh yeah, definitely. So it takes cover behind the corner at the end of the hallway, and at the top, it's Akira's turn. Akira, you see Davi getting attacked by two of these taller, nastier-looking ones. The swarms look like they're pretty well messed up at the end of the hallway and held down. What do you do? Okay. Yeah, you go up and help Davi. You have sneak attack. If you hit. Yep.
Oh, and
Hit. Hit. How do you kill it? Nice. There's one more on Davi. Anything else? Okay. Nice. It is not. You can only do sneak attack once a turn. Yeah. With a crit? Yeah, so you just roll another d6. Okay. You don't quite kill it, but it looks like it's on death's door. Anything else you want to do? You want to move anywhere? Okay. It is the swarm's turn. They're going to try to break out again. They fail again, and they take fire damage. They're not able to move towards the flaming sphere, so it's not like that doing damage. It's just like the fire. It just takes d6 for now. Takes 4. Okay. All right, Sienna, it's your turn.
all right. That floating flaming skull, when it right around the corner, is it still kind of like peeking its head, like or eye socket, around the sea, or is it completely obscured?
It's completely obscured from what you can see. Like you wouldn't be able to take a shot at it from where you are right now.
So she has no vision at it at all.
Yeah, it is full cover.
All right. Then I guess she will cast Eldritch Blast at the last surviving ghoul, or first shot at the last surviving ghoul, and then the second shot at one of the mooks in the horde.
Go ahead.
Okay, first shot. 24.
Hit.
All right, he takes 9 damage.
How do you kill it?
She summons up 2 little orbs, energy in front of her hand, and just almost mechanically just aims straight for the ghoul and blows its head clear off.
Okay. Second attack.
19.
Hit.
8.
8. Okay. Yeah, you take out one of them that's like trying to pull itself out of the webbing, just like completely incompetent. Just blow its head off. and the beam goes through that one and also takes off like the arm of another one behind it.
She will use her bonus action to rev up Sphere's friend and slam it into another one in the horde, moving it, back, moving it 5 feet into, range. So
14.
All right, so I guess they technically make it.
Okay.
All
oh wait,
right.
they're restrained, so disadvantage.
Oh yeah.
14. Yep. Rolled again.
Half a 7.
Okay. So 3.
And
I figure you guys are like focusing on one of the hordes and doing all the damage to that one.
Yeah. It's just it's like slamming into the first one that's in line, since I assume there's only like it's 2 of them, like they're like 2 by 2.
Okay.
So,
all right.
All right.
Second one is going to try to break out. Jesus. Okay. It fails, and is still restrained. All these zombies are still restrained.
All right.
You don't know how much trouble you would have been if they weren't restrained.
All right. If it ends its turn with Sphere Friend, they take another 2d6. So like another dex save for.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Passes.
Half a 4.
Okay, that's their turn. That guy's dead. Davi, it's your turn. You're like in this hallway. The 2 ghouls cut down. You just see this carnage at about 30 feet away from you down the hallway.
Did we skip Mez?
Yeah,
Did we? Oh.
Yeah,
Mezerack, it's your turn, I
from
think.
a cranky old man.
My bad.
It's so seeing Akira going, seeing her just like Mezerack's courage just sort of swells as he like hits his staff against the floor and just like folds it into an ice bow, and he shoots into the horde that we're being concentrated.
You have advantage because they're restrained.
You're muted.
So 25.
Oh damn.
That hits.
Right. There's 2d8 into these, which is 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 as he shoots 2 of these ice arrows just into this, and that is it.
Okay. Yeah, you shoot that off and take out like 3 of the zombies as it just like sprays ice into them. Shrapnel going everywhere. Okay, now it's Davi's turn.
Davi will just charge forward, skirting around the orb.
You don't have to.
Just...
You can just run up right next to it. I can spell sculpt it. It won't touch you.
Oh, that's a good
Never
point.
mind. Davi's gonna do something. Davi's gonna go through the orb.
Yep.
And shoot out the other side and just slam 2 attacks into the horde.
Okay. You have advantage because they're held restrained.
Oh my god, this is gonna be awful. First one crits.
God. All
That's
right.
probably a dead one.
And second one is a damn airport. Okay. So first one crits and second one is a 13 to hit.
13 hits.
Okay, so they'll both hit. I assume the zombies are undead.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do the crit first. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then doubled. So 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 3. The crit. Oh wait, I have to re-roll ones. 3. It'll be 31 on the crit.
Yeah, you basically sweep through the rest of these zombies, just sending them scattering in pieces. Basically putting away one of the hordes of zombies. And there's only one horde left. And you see around the corner this flaming skull basically like getting ready to attack you as well. So give me your second attack damage.
All right. So I'll do, because I couldn't see the skull, I'll do just the second attack at the other horde.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to reach it unless you went into the fire anyway.
Yeah. 3 minus 1, 19. So 19 damage to the other horde.
Okay, nice.
And then is the collective horde at less than 25 health?
Not quite.
All right.
It's at 28 right now.
Oh, so close. Let's see. So I do all my math right then? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it for me then.
Okay. The Flame Skull is going to take his turn now. What would he cast? It's going to cast... It's going to shoot its fire ray at you, Davi, twice. It misses.
Aww.
And it misses. So it shoots twice and like kind of like almost like tracers in the dark. It's like suddenly blinding. But it misses Davi, just like taking a chunk out of the wall behind him. It is gonna retreat. What's its speed here?
Was I in melee range of it?
No.
Damn.
It's gonna retreat 40 feet down the hallway to an additional corner down there. And from what you can see, Davi, there are no additional threats in this right hallway other than the skull.
Oh yeah, as I move.
It looks like it's smart enough to realize I don't want to deal with this guy right now. Okay, Kira, it's your turn. You see that there's still some zombies in the swarm left that you could take pot shots at.
Go stab him with your sword.
They're still restrained, so you have advantage on these zombies. It would be, you could drop your stuff, both your swords as a free action, and then pick it up as an interaction, and then shoot. Yep. So you have advantage because they're restrained. Freaking restrained, man. Like, MVP.
I just thought of something. I could have threw, if I wanted to be really mean, I could have threw grease on top of the rest of the group as well.
Yep. That hits. Nine. Okay, you kill it. You finish off that swarm as well. And now the corner in the hallway is clear, except for this fire, since the web hasn't been dispelled yet. Do you want to move? Kira. Okay. You head up where Davi is, waiting for the fire to get dispelled or the web to get dispelled.
I'll do that immediately if that's what they wish. Just I'll drop that concentration as soon as they want it.
Okay. I believe that's a free action?
Yeah, the spelling's a free action.
Okay. So you dispel that, and the corner hallway is free, so Mezerack, you can take your full turn. Do your thing.
Absolutely.
30 feet away from that corner.
Yeah. So he dispels that. It's his go. So he makes his way down in the direction of this skull. And he sort of hits against the wall, still feeling his leg from that drop that he just did. Instead of using the rope that Sienna had put out for him, and so he like hobbles down like 30 in that direction. Well, what does he see from just the afterglow, I guess, of the fire plus Darby's hammer, whatever's.
The embers give this hallway just like this dull orange haze that reflects off of the smoke and makes it kind of difficult to see. But you see this green flame pretty clearly. It's bright down the hallway. It doesn't have any cover from you.
Absolutely. She Mezerack just pushes forward his staff and then pulls it back and folds it into a bow as he shoots towards this. And he does, that would be it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. As I guess it shoots into the wall just like.
And that's cold damage?
Yeah, that would be cold.
It hits it. However, it seems like it just like it hit the thing and just dissipates in its boiling green flame and does not do any damage.
Absolute, really cool. Okay, and he's like he sort of stops in his track as he was like walking forward, shooting the second one, and he sees the effects of it, and he stops as he folds his bow back into his staff, and he's done. He's finished.
Okay. Sienna, it's your turn.
All right, since I can move the flaming sphere up to 30 feet, it can jump over things 5 feet tall and jump up to 10 feet out. If I yell for one of them to duck, can I like jump the sphere over them in front of them after the skull?
Yeah, you can move it 30 feet towards the skull. But the skull is 40 feet away, so it wouldn't quite be able to make it.
Well, she'll move it. She'll move it up as far as she can, jumping over. I guess jumping it over whoever she has to. She'll yell duck.
Yeah, Mezerack is like, "Oh, easy."
And then Sienna will move up her 30 feet. When she moves up 30 feet, does she have line of sight on the skull?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you have line of sight.
You will use her circlet of blasting to cast Scorching Ray at it.
Okay. Roll attack.
21.
That hits.
Critical.
That also hits.
12.
That misses.
All right.
So roll damage.
7 for the first hit, and the crit does 16.
So you nail this thing with
because of my feat, if it happened to have any fire resistance, it ignores that.
It has fire immunity.
Oh damn! Well, never mind then.
So you hit it point blank, like right in its cackling mouth. But the fire, it almost seems like it makes the green flame grow stronger as it just like eats the fire. It is immune to fire, and it is immune to cold damage. Okay. Anything else you want to do?
That would be it. Now she knows.
Davi, it is your turn.
Seeing that it's kind of far away, Davi will Misty Step 30 feet, and then just run the rest of the 10 feet.
Okay.
And attack it twice.
Go for it.
Misty Step.
It's not gonna be
17 for the first hit.
Hit.
And 23 for the second hit.
Also hit.
And it's going to be undead, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, so I'll do that. And then I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 8. That's 2. 36 total for both combined hits.
Okay, it's below 25 health.
DC 15 Wisdom, or it's destroyed.
Okay. Jesus Christ. It rolls a crit 1. So, what does it look like when you just frickin' one-shot this thing?
the first hit kind of wobbles it, and then the second hit comes straight down and smashes it into the ground and just turns it to dust.
Yeah, you smash this thing. It almost like bounces off of the wall as you just wreck the shit out of it and just turns into dust under the might of your hammer. I'm going to say because of the nature of the weapon that you're wielding, it would not be able to return to life like it usually would be able to.
By the power of Tyr.
Yeah, exactly. Like I assume you're basically using like a blessed weapon.
Yeah, it's a maul of disruption. So it's about as
you
holy
kill
as
the
it
shit
gets.
out of it. So as like quiet kind of oh my god. You guys cast a bunch of spells, didn't you?
Yeah.
How much shifting did we
Spin
just
me right
Oh, wow.
around.
We are so lost now. We're just lost.
Yeah, it almost seems like so everything like goes off like really quickly. I'm gonna say since I forgot to do all the shifting during the combat like I should have, it all
charged
happens
up the
now.
battery.
So we need 3 dex saves from everybody.
Ah, shit, none of you are next to me.
Dexterity save.
17.
17.
12.
21 for Davi.
19. Well, that's crazy. 17,
So-
19, 19.
So the floor just like starts shifting beneath you, turning into a ramp and then eventually a straight drop. And then from that drop, kind of like turning over so that you're walking on the roof, and then turning into another drop, basically like sending you end over end, spinning, completely losing your sense of space. Anybody who rolled below 15 on their dex save is going to take damage and is going to be prone. So since you guys aren't in like a space where you'd be falling a lot, it would just be d6 for every failed dex save. So. Okay, so you take 5 bludgeoning damage and you're thrown prone, Davi. As it's just like thrown end over end.
I
Would have been worse.
I got 21.
Sienna's the one that
whoever
rolled.
got a 12. You take 5 bludgeoning damage.
And those that save take no damage at all.
Yeah, the rest of you don't take any damage, and you're not thrown prone as you're like able to adjust as it's like shifting. Like it's not a sudden shift. It's like being kind of slow, so you're able to kind of adjust if you're nimble enough. So as like everything's kind of like quieted down, in the light of Davi's hammer, you see this mural across this hallway that you're all down in where the flaming skull came from. You see the same woman who was on the front door, a full body kind of like carving, and she has her hands around a cup and like it's raised above her, and you see everyone kind of like bowing low around her. In addition to that, you notice like running almost like in almost like gutters along the hallway down here, this bright silver liquid that like flows beside you. Like you're not in it, it's like running in like gutters and flowing, almost like a liquid mercury.
Without touching it, is there a possibility of using some form of investigation? Mezerack turns to Akira and Sienna and Davi and says, What do you make of this? As trying to use investigation, leading down guidance, possibly if possible.
Okay. Yeah, they can assist you. Anybody who has investigation proficiency.
Sienna does. She has a really good investigation.
Go for it.
All right. 21.
All right, 21. So, what are you trying to figure out about it?
She's investigating the mural itself, if it leads to any clues, like what's at the what the liquid is, like maybe taking her tip of her staff and like sticking it in it to like see like what it actually is, look at it and everything.
So you notice that on this the stone carved kind of like I don't know what they're called. It's like a mural, but it's made out of stone, basically. You notice that within the cup that's being raised is this moonstone that is like the same color as the liquid that's flowing. It isn't like a button or anything that seems particularly important, but it could sell for some money if you took it.
When she investigated it, it looked like it was possibly trapped or anything like that. Like it's attached to
yeah,
anything.
with the investigation, you would have noticed any traps. You didn't notice any. It just seems like it's like a gemstone that is supposed to stand in for the liquid.
She will pluck it out and like notice the girl like this may be useful later. And then what did she learn about the liquid when she like poked it with her staff and like was analyzing it?
You poke it with your staff, and it doesn't like melt away or anything like that. It almost seems like it slips around it, like it doesn't wet the staff like water would.
Can she take one of her empty vials she has and like try to collect some?
Okay. Give me sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. Where is sleight of hand? Ah, there it is. 20. Damn. I got lucky with that
20.
one.
So you notice that this stuff, you don't want to touch it. So you take like some tongs and like fill up like a little container with some of this stuff and cork it.
Is it like because it's hot, or is it like radiating heat or anything, or just seems like it's putting off like a toxic odor or what?
Does the detector...
No toxic odor or anything like that. It's not hot. It's actually the opposite. It's actually pretty cold. You notice that it like starts to mist the bottle as you cork it, and it soon grows so cold that you have trouble holding it without some sort of protection.
So like put it in her pack, or in like a little satchel or something.
Okay. What do you want to do, Mezerack?
I was just checking if as I see Sienna just like investigating this thing, and just like even more thoroughly, she takes out the thongs, she starts just the things that she's doing. My question is, from the time we came into here, how much time has actually passed? Like, does his detect magic still function or not? That lasts for 10 minutes.
Did you cast any concentration spells since then?
Yes, but the thing was, my detect magic I did as a what's the word? A ritual.
A ritual. It's still concentration though.
Oh, okay.
So you're holding on to it.
Yes. Okay, so I have done. So that's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, he says, what do you make of it, Sienna?
It's quite strange. It has the appearance of liquid mercury, but it's cold, ice cold to the touch, which should not be.
Which way was it running? This way down the corridor or the other? As he looks to see the direction which it's running from to.
It's running away. from the way that you're heading.
Okay.
And basically, like, it flipped over, the level flipped end over end, and now you're back on the gravity that you started with.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. Last thing she said, I say, and I'll shut my face. Is there's nothing to necessarily be read in any way with on this mural, or like being able to understand the symbols, the meaning of the symbol, just as it is.
There's no language on it. There are like symbol letters, but it doesn't correspond to any language. It's not like primordial or anything like that.
Okay, really cool.
Yeah, you could pick them back up. So yeah, you guys are basically at this mural, and the hallway, there's like another turn, and at the end of it you see okay, let me figure out how everything spatial recognition, let's see. There would be a hole in the ground at the end of this hallway, similar to the one that you climbed in.
Dobby shines his mace down in and looks in.
You shine your mace down. Okay, let's see. As you kind of like bring the light into this room with the hole that leads down to another level, you see that there is like dual statues, two statues, a woman carved with like minute detail, beautiful, elven, and a man kind of like carved with rough detail, like he's like in the background, like he isn't like the main point of this statue. So you see those two right near the hole that leads down into another level here. And you see that this one is basically like turned up on its side. It's similar in that it has like hallways and stuff like that, but it's turned up on its side, and it's a little more difficult to move around in.
How far down is it?
So do you guys go down there?
How far down?
Mezerack says, so, what do you see down there?
I explained the kind of the portrait and everything, and then how far down is it?
Let me see here. Okay. To the bottom of this, like where you can see kind of like the wall that is now a floor, it's about 25 feet down. And there's like sconces like for torches and stuff all over the place that you would be able to like tie ropes to and stuff like that. You could also tie it to the statue.
To scout.
Okay, you'll just go?
Or no, I'll send Spider Elf to go scout.
Got it. Okay. Spider Elf, do you go scout?
I pat him on the back as he goes down. Thanks, bud.
So we'll send Rig along with him.
You climb down and give me a stealth check and a perception check. Okay. 13 and 20. 18 and 20. Okay. Yeah, you don't hear anything like disturbed within. As you kind of like climb down, like some sort of MC Escher painting. You go around the corner and you see that this level is not as straightforward as the last one. You see the liquid falling down like a waterfall. And you see all the way at the end with your dark vision, another one of these corridors that leads basically what you would assume is to another level. So the cold liquid is basically like pouring down from the gutter above you. Basically, you're like looking around a corner and you could see this stuff like coming down like a waterfall, and pooling and draining at the bottom. It is about 20 feet long, and it just like basically covers the shit. It's really difficult to explain it. So I'll just explain it like the wall is the floor. So you know how the corridors are like 10 feet tall? This one is now 10 feet wide, and you're basically able to like climb down like you're going down really big steps to get to this area where it's really narrow but very tall. And you see this like waterfall like falling before you, and you have to figure out how to get past it. There isn't too much space to get past this waterfall since it's only like 10 feet wide, and if it hits you, I mean, you were told that it's hyper cold, so you probably don't want to touch it. So that's what you see.
I'll communicate telepathically right now because of Mezerack. Does Akira tell us about this? It says she might have a plan to get past the waterfall.
I would say no, because you guys have been using magic items and I haven't been counting it.
I remember you said ritual when Mezerack did rituals, it didn't seem to affect the pyramid, right?
That too. Yep. Rituals don't do it either.
Sienna says she has an idea to get past it.
Tell me, what do you have?
She's thinking about the best way to describe it.
And as you're thinking, there's a pause in the communication. Like all of you also hear that she says, he says, what if I cast one of my cantrips to turn the whole place one more time?
She goes, no, that might cause it to, we don't know what direction it will turn. It might spill on top of us. She's like, she thinks back. She goes, remember magic? She claps her hands together. I know. Follow me, gentlemen. And she just starts like heading off to where Akira was.
So you know that the turning is always in the same direction from what you've gathered.
Oh, yeah.
It's always counterclockwise.
She still has a plan she's going to try. She set herself to it.
Okay. So you guys are all down there. How are you going to deal with this?
She kind of stops, like goes to like this waterfall-y pool of liquid cold. If she can, she sets down, or kind of kneels down, pulls out some supplies from her bag, and begins casting the ritual for Tiny Hut.
Okay.
Because Tiny Hut creates a 10-foot bubble that is indestructible, and nothing can pass through it unless I give it say so.
Okay, but the waterfall is 20 feet across.
Is it 20 feet thick or 20 feet wide?
As in, you guys are basically like looking down this very tall, very narrow hallway, and it's 20 feet long.
Oh, so never mind that. I thought when you said 20 feet, it was 20 feet wide.
Yeah, I was just.
My bad.
It basically you would have to get across 20 feet of it to continue.
And she looks because she looks around, thinking about Mezerack's plan. Then of if we did cast a spell to like reshape the room, could she be able to tell like which way it might start flowing instead?
Yeah, you would know that it would basically flow as a small waterfall and start pooling on the floor, but you would be able to move faster than it would be able to pool. Basically.
So
Okay,
even if it was a deck save, that we might be, there's a chance of us being able to avoid it.
Yeah, it would be a much easier chance of avoiding it than the way that it is at the moment.
she'll like mentally talk to Mezerack. She's like, "Well, this was your idea. Mine busted. Would you like the honor?"
Oh, she says, Akira, Davi, what do you think?
Davi likes this plan and holds on to a wall.
Mezerack's eyebrows start to like frost as just the cold breath comes from his nose, his mouth, his eyes sort of like glass over, as they do when he normally folds his bow, and he casts from his fingers a ray of frost that just go just straight out.
And as you cast it, basically the level that was on its side is now getting turned upside down, and you see that not one gutter but two gutters are pooling water onto the floor. You guys all run, and you're able to avoid the trap if you can make a dex save with advantage.
Are we doing
15.
17 for Davi.
10, 11, 12. I got 12. If I could do guidance, that'd be fantastic. If not, doesn't matter.
It's a save.
So forget that.
Actually, it's a save, and we're all next to each other. Everyone gets +3 to their saves.
Yep.
By the power of Paladin.
Oh, so I got a
What did everybody get?
revised. I got an 18.
I got 15.
Okay.
In total.
So 15, you make it through with no damage as like this cold liquid spreads out behind you, and you're able to get to the. Okay, how would it be? It was like in the wall before, so now. Oh shit! The corridor is on the ceiling that you're trying to get through. So how do you get up there?
Is there?
Can we just
You
move
look
something?
up. It's like 20 feet up
Oh shit!
until you can get to another level. Yeah, you get up there, you look around, and you hear the shuffling of undead, basically like up and like beyond a corner above you. But you don't see anything directly. You look around, you see like some sconces nearby that you could tie ropes to. But you look down and you see the liquid like starting to spread closer and closer. Companions don't have much time.
I guess Sienna will quickly throw a rope up to Akira.
Okay. Akira, tie it. All right, people down there, give me athletics checks at advantage.
It'd be dexterity.
It would be athletics.
No, my noodle arms. My noodle arms
These
with
are the
-1.
drawbacks of having wizards and decks. Should have been a
13
muscle
for
wizard.
Davi.
What was it?
Got 5.
Do we
You
still
have
get the +3
advantage.
for being next to Davi?
Yes. No, this is athletics.
Yeah, no, my thing
But
only
you have
works on saves.
Even with advantage, I rolled a 3 and I rolled a, I think it was 6 minus 1 is 5.
Got a 10.
Okay. Anybody get above a 15?
Yeah, Davi did. Davi got a what his strength is.
So
So
Davi,
16.
you see your friends struggling to climb the rope. Apparently they failed gym class. So you can choose to climb up and save yourself, or you could stay behind and try to help them make another save, but make
No,
another check roll,
I'll reach
but
down and
automatically
try and
fail
pull him up.
yours. Okay. So Mezerack and Sienna, you're gonna get singed by this cold liquid before you can make another save. Check, not save. The rope's still there. They just couldn't climb up. Okay. No. So you take 14 cold damage. As it's just like nipping at your legs, and like it's almost like liquid nitrogen as it like eats through your boots, and you can make another athletics check.
Ooh, how much do we take?
Sienna and Mezerack take 14, and you don't take any Navi since you didn't stay.
He
Yeah, I'm
screams.
just
definitely.
hanging on to the rope.
Ah.
Sienna will definitely scream for holler for some help. She is not feeling good right now.
Excuse me.
And re-roll again.
Oop.
Oh no.
Akira was looking over and fell in.
Whoopsie.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, so Davi's got one hand kind of wrapped into the rope, and he's reaching down with the other, trying to pull you guys up.
yeah, you can give them advantage.
Absolutely.
They already have advantage, actually. So
I give him super advantage.
Yes. Natural 20. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a 15.
yeah, so you guys get basically spurred on by the sudden pain, recognizing that this is going to be your death if you don't climb. So the adrenaline hits, and you climb, and quickly make it amongst your comrades, and you hear the shuffle of additional monsters within, above you. So basically, like the way that this is kind of laid out, you look up and there's like these tall 10-foot steps that lead up and up. And like this overhang above you that looks like it spreads out for a long while into the darkness. Basically another level that's like turned on its side.
First thing Mezerack does as he gets up is he's like he's sort of like on ties like really fast. He's like his boots, both his boots, to get his feet out, and just like with this thing, and then he takes out 2 of these vials and gives one to Sienna, which is a greater healing, and offers another to anyone that needs it. If they don't take, he drinks the greater healing now, for sure, and possibly might take 2 actually, but he drinks definitely 1 now while he's on the floor with his boots off, unlaced.
Davi's good. While they're taking that potion, can we figure out if we were to cast a spell, which way the room would turn and what we'd essentially be looking at?
So basically, the way that you would, if you cast a cantrip, it would turn right side up. And, okay, so you're down there. It would turn right side up. It would basically turn into like this room where you can, there's like this wall, and then around the corner you'll see like a relatively open area that leads into darkness.
All right. Does that look like it would be an easier journey than what we're currently looking at?
You would say so. However, the way that the room is oriented right now, whatever is up and above you making that noise, it would have to get through a choke point to get to you. Because they'll be walking on the wall, and the room is only 10 feet tall.
Okay. Dobby kind of just mutters all that while he's kind of thinking to himself, which apparently everyone hears as well.
Yeah, you guys have been in here, and you can kind of figure out how this works. So that's the choice. You can, if you cast a spell during combat, it would flip over anyway. And
Sure,
you note that the room is very wide and long. So if it did flip after the first one, you might be in for a long fall. So you might want to, yeah. So just take that into consideration. The room is about 50 by 50.
Okay.
And the sconces, like you said before, how would that work with the rope, with the room going around like that if we're tied to rope? I know Akira's fine that he's got his thing, but how would that work for if we weren't using magic like fly or anything like this?
The rope?
Is that still going to be like smack, smack, smack?
The rope?
Yeah. Sorry. If what Mezerack says to everyone, and I'm also asking you.
Oh, you're saying like, can you avoid making dex saves as it changes? Yeah, if you do it intentionally, basically like you're ready and you're like gonna do it, you don't need to make a save.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're oriented in a way that you're like avoiding a fall, you know, you're in like a small hallway and like you couldn't fall before.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So right now, basically, you're in like a 10-foot wide and 50-foot tall room and 50-foot long room. And if you cast a spell, it would turn into a 50-foot wide room, 50-foot long room, and 10-foot tall room.
Dan, can I ask you just one thing, and I'm done? Tell me the original. We're in a 10-foot wide. How it is now? We're in a 10-foot wide.
Yep. 10-foot wide, 50-foot tall, basically.
Okay. 50 tall. Okay.
All right. Dobby's just gonna start trekking ahead and climbing.
Okay. Yeah, you climb up and you can see.
Oh crap! Damn it! Have I been muted this whole time?
Yeah, you have.
Damn it! I was gonna say Sienna chugs a healing potion when she, climbed out of the.
Okay. Yeah, you chug a healing potion. You guys kind of get ready. Dobby climbs up. He can hear, but he can't see the monsters that are like down at the end of the room congregating, unless he gets closer.
Yeah. Sienna, I just marked off greater healing for you. I just gave you a greater healing. You got that?
Oh yeah. What do those do?
It does 4d4 plus 4.
Yeah.
44 plus 4.
Yep.
All right, she will take one of those. And hit roll like shit.
1, 1, 1, 1.
I got 44 plus 4. I got 11 health back.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the game plan? Are you going to flip it before you get into combat with these things in here, or are you going to work with what you have at the moment?
How many of them are there in there again?
Nobody with dark vision has gone up with Davi quite yet. He's basically like waiting for the rest of you to go up. Like onto this this higher area where it like opens up, basically.
Sienna will go up with him. She probably won't be able to see, but she'll go up with Davi.
Okay.
Yeah, Mezerack casts a mirror image and joins.
Okay, you cast mirror image and the room shifts down to horizontal. Kira, you see another horde of zombies on the other side of the room, smaller than the first one that you ran into. However, you see a... Hold on here. What's this called here? Hold on 1 second. This creature just like huddled and covered over with a cloak and hood, just like claws and clawed feet hunched over, just like barely avoiding getting knocked prone by the sudden shift in the area.
Can we recognize if it's a ghoul like the ones earlier, or is it something completely different?
This is something completely different, but you do notice two other... hold on. How many do I have? So there's a swarm. There's that thing that I just described. It's like hunched over thing with a cloak and hood, just like ravaged and ravaged by time. And you see 3 of the taller undead that you saw earlier, but these they have like sunken eyes and longer unhinged jaws, and they're taller and lankier. But as the dungeon shifts and Mezerack casts mirror image, we're gonna roll initiative.
Can Sienna do an Arcana or a Religion check to see if she recognizes what the cloaked thing was in any way?
Yeah. Let me religion.
Religion
Would probably be the most effective. You could also do Arcana.
or Arcana. Do that one.
Yep.
I have +6 in Arcana.
Okay.
23.
You recognize that thing as some sort of warped and distorted undead that pledged itself to some unholy being and was basically brought into servitude after death, and basically like shaped to its whims, and now it basically has like a terrible visage that myth says can kill just from looking at it. So roll initiative. Basically, right now it's in a layout where it's 50-foot wide, 10-foot tall room, and you guys, if somebody casts a spell, you would be at the top of a 50-foot tall fall. Okay. Okay, 23, so you're at the top again.
13.
Mezerack, it's 13.
I got a 20.
Sienna's 20.
18 for Davi.
18, Davi. Okay. All right, top of the initiative, Akira, you see this swarm of zombies on the other side of the room about 50 feet away. You also see those 3 taller zombies, and you see the stooped over cloaked zombie. So what do you do?
Oh no.
Okay, so you cast a spell.
It's
Go
a
ahead.
magic item, not a spell. Circle of Blasting's a magic item.
That's fine. Sure. I really wanted to make you guys all fall all at once, but that's fine. As in casting spells counts, but alright, that's fine. Go ahead. What are you aiming at?
Damn you, semantics.
The closest house. Okay. You aim for the swarm. So go ahead and give me a roll. It's like amongst it, so it would have 3/4 cover if you want to aim for it. You can. It's like a crowd of zombies and it's like in the middle of them. It is taller, so it isn't completely obscured, but that is a miss with 3/4 cover. That is a hit. Okay, third one is 24. So those two hit. $15. Okay. You hit it twice, and you see that the fire kind of like slips off. It still does damage, but it doesn't do as much damage as you had hoped. So it does half for the fire damage. Okay, let me just. Okay, anything else you want to do, Akira? Do you want to move towards it, away from it? Okay. So I'll draw this battle map out real quick. Next up. The first tall, lanky guy is gonna spring into action once I'm done doing my thing here. Okay. He's the closest. He's like 30 feet away. The other ones are about 50 feet away. Okay, and then you got that. Alright. He's gonna come charging out. Whoever's closest is gonna get attacked by this one.
Probably Davi, I'd assume.
Probably Davi. So it comes charging out. This one looks more intimidating than the others. And as it comes into melee, okay, I gotta keep track of that. It's gonna attack you, Davi. With a miss. So it swings at you and misses, but like this like stinging stench rolls off of it as it comes within 5 feet of you. I'll just call for that on your turn. A second one comes running out towards Davi. You'd be able to make it and attack in this turn as well. Roll here. He misses with a 14. All right, Sienna, it's your turn.
Oh, there, she's kind of gimped on her magic at the moment. She pulls out her light crossbow.
Okay.
Fires.
Are you going to aim for one of the tall, lanky ones on Davi, or one of the guys on the other side of the room?
Probably one of the tall, lanky ones.
Okay.
And that's an 18 to hit.
The hits.
10 damage.
All right, that hits. Does full damage. Chunk! You shoot him right in his like protruding belly, almost like it's been starved or something, or it has fed recently. Doing 10 damage. Anything else you want to do? You want to move anywhere?
Yeah, she will back up, like more towards the back of the group.
Do you want to stay where you are, or do you want to move towards the other side of the room so in case somebody shifts it, you won't fall?
Yeah, that.
Okay, so I'm going to say you move 30 feet towards the. I'm just going to say it in like cardinal directions for the moment. You move 30 feet north towards what would be the bottom of the room if it shifts.
And she'll shout out to everybody to try to make their way over this way.
Smart. Okay. All right. This guy's turn. The cloaked one. How smart is he? Okay, he's not that smart. Uses a bonus action to enact one of his effects. And then it is going to. Okay. It is going to use its movement to move 30 feet towards you. Basically, like coming out of the cover of this horde of zombies. Moves 30 feet towards you, Davi. And it is going to use its action to gaze into your eyes. And you need to make a. Actually, it wouldn't go. Would it go after Davi?
Right behind him is.
It's not that smart. It would just go for the closest, biggest threat. So Davi, give me a Constitution save. Sienna, you would know that if you looked at this thing, you would be in danger based on the stories you've heard. So what did you roll, Davi?
17.
17. Okay, so you pass. So you take half of. Uh, 10, 11, 15, 20. So you take half of 20 necrotic damage. So you take 10 necrotic damage as it locks eyes with you, but you look away at the last second and you don't take the full brunt of the force of its gaze.
Okay, and then necrotic reduces max HP too, right?
No, it doesn't detail that here. It just does 10 damage.
Okay.
Okay. And that is well active. Okay. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on other people's turns for this guy, but that is his turn. What the fuck am I in the initiative? Davi, it's your turn. You have two of these big lanky guys on you right now.
A second. Okay. Is the creepy one within melee of me?
It is not. It's like behind the ghouls, the ghasts that are attacking you.
Okay. I'll go ahead and first swing will be at the one that Sienna hit.
Okay.
19 to hit.
That hits. They have an AC of 13.
Okay. 16 damage on the first hit.
Okay. It's heavily wounded.
Is it below 25?
Yes, it is. So it has to make a wisdom save.
Yeah, DC 15 wisdom.
Let's see. What's its wisdom? I rolled a flat 15, so depending on what it has. It saves with 15.
All right. Second swing will be at that same one then.
Okay. 13 hits.
Next hit's going to be a 24 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. 19 on that one.
Okay, that kills it. Vanquish it. Before you also have to make a con save because these things are within 5 feet of you, and you have to make. Actually, you have to make a lot of saves that I didn't call for yet. So you have to make a con save for the ghast. So what did you roll for that?
13.
Okay, so that's a pass. Okay, now I need another con save.
Okay.
From this thing like gazing at you. You're within 30 feet of it.
16 on that one.
Okay, that's another pass. So like,
And then are any
you
of
don't
these
close your.
diseases?
This is not a disease. This is
Okay.
like a psychic assault
Okay,
from the
that's
sting
fine.
within a certain radius.
It's super spooky.
Yeah, exactly. It's like super spooky. Are you immune to frightened?
Feared? No. I mean, I can be if I cast a spell for it.
Okay, well, it does 19 psychic damage and 5 necrotic damage from its aura of annihilation and from its death gaze. Since you are within 30 feet of it.
Dope.
Okay. Anything else you want to do? You want to move anywhere?
No, I'll stay where I'm at.
And this is similar to like other monsters where like you could choose to close your eyes and attack at disadvantage and not have to deal with its effects when it's within 30 feet of you. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
Kind of like a basilisk. Okay. So that was Davi's turn. It is the third Ghast's turn.
Knew they were Ghast.
Yeah.
Or gives it away.
So you saved from the stench, so you're not going to deal with that anymore, but it's going to attack you. Davi basically tanking and showing himself as the most direct threat, so they're all converging on him. Misses. The 12. All right. Mezerack, it's your turn.
Absolutely. So, first thing is, I have to quickly just check with you, Dan. So the nightmare that I had before, in the nightmare back in the day, one of the things that had happened, I had used one of my 2 flying spells. Is that not a? Do I have my my 2 flying spells still? I used one of them, or is that gone?
Yeah, you still have it.
Okay, great.
You didn't actually use it.
Absolutely. So he, Mezerack's going to drink one of those first. Second, the what's it called? The corridor that we're in. Is it kind of like? Is it like this? But you know, there's like with angles. And when we turn, do we turn this way, or are we turning like this way?
So the way it is now is like it's a short and wide room, And if it turns again, it would become narrow and tall room. And the place that you are in right now, it would result in you falling if
All
you
the way
don't move.
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why Sienna was saying like move over, like
Yes,
to where
you
she's
see
at.
Sienna-
Because that would be the bottom.
You see
Yeah.
Sienna running north, and that's the direction where he would fall if it shifted.
So he wants to keep his eye. He's going to keep his eye on Darby in a minute. In just a second, he's going to do that. But right now, he takes the potion, and then he makes his way towards Sienna. And what he wants to do, and then you tell me when it happens. He wants to give Sienna the last of his flying potions. He drinks the flying potion, gives Sienna a potion. When shit starts to happen, he's going to ready himself to catch Darby, basically. That's
Yeah,
what,
she mentally. Man, see, she's got Davi. Worry about Akira.
Akira's
got a
got
plan.
Spider, no? Am I wrong, Akira? Mezerack says in his mind as he's running down.
Oh, yeah. Akira's got spider climb.
Yeah, Akira's
Yeah, he
got
does.
I have a plan.
Davi's in a bad spot though.
Yeah.
I have a plan.
So Mezerack, what are you gonna do? You swallowed a potion. Are you gonna move anywhere or anything like that?
He swallows the potion, and yeah, actually, what he would have done is he moves towards what's his name, Sienna, because he's going to give Sienna another potion whenever. Maybe it's next round. Maybe it's just whenever I can do that.
Okay.
And that's it.
So you are currently within 30 feet of this Bodak thing.
Absolutely.
So you take 5 necrotic damage, and you need to give me a con save
Okay.
for the aura that's giving off.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this thing is like. Let's see. This 7. So yeah. As he's going towards Darby, and he's looking back. His curiosity. He's just like he's looking back at this thing, like looking into its eyes, looking like seeing what is this, you know? And this thing just the pain that he gets within him. He definitely fails for sure.
Oh. Okay.
Am I fucked?
That's not good.
Okay.
So you take the 5 necrotic damage first.
Yes.
And then you fail your save, and what happens is what did you roll on your save first?
Really bad. He got I got a 5, and then I get a +2.
Davi's near you, so you get the extra save.
Yeah. What is that?
The extra on top of whatever you rolled.
How close is he? He's got to be 10 feet.
He's within. I would
was he-
say he's within 10 feet. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, +3.
Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Modify 10.
Okay. Oh, you just
He's like-
barely miss it. Wait, no.
Okay, it's all good.
No. Okay. So no. Okay, it isn't as bad. So that actually helped you. That you would have been fucked. So you take 3d10 psychic damage.
Oh,
You fail to save, but not nearly as bad as it could have been. Okay. Oof. Jesus, that's still a lot. Okay. 23 psychic damage as it just like bores into your psyche and makes room for itself, just like jumbling things within your head, and like the only thing that you see is this gaping black hole where its mouth should be, where its eyes should be, and fear grips you as you take that 23 psychic damage.
Absolutely. I mean, blood starts coming out of his mouth and a little out of his ears as well, man. He's yeah, absolutely got it.
Okay. And for anyone, you can just say that you avert your eyes, and you can avoid the saving throw, but you'll have a disadvantage on attack rolls on this creature that's forcing you to make the saves. Okay. Oh, this is mechanically complex. All right. That was Mezerack's turn. It's the swarm's turn. The swarm is going. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, Davi is the most direct threat.
Waddle, waddle, waddle over.
Well, Sienna ran off by herself too.
She was already like however far away we were from them, and then she moved another 30 feet. You know, to the
Yeah, so
side.
it's actually pretty far away. Okay. Yeah. So this swarm is going to enclose around Davi, Kira, and Mezerack. It is going to attempt to pull Kira down. So Kira, give me a strength save. So you save. They try to draw you prone and grapple you and keep you in place as they try to eat you alive, but they don't succeed, but they're still going to slash out at Kira once, Mezerack once, and Davi twice. Kira's a hit with 24. Mezerack a miss. Davi a hit with a crit. Oh my god. Davi a hit with another crit.
Davi ignores crit because of adamantine armor.
Oh, you motherfucker. Yeah, they still hit. They double crit, and of course it's the one guy who doesn't freaking take crits. Damn it. Alright. Let's see here. How much damage do they do? Okay, normal. Okay. 8 and 7. So 15 damage on Davi. And it is Kira's turn at the top. You're surrounded by zombies, Kira. You see Sienna kind of like running off towards the north. You can act, and then you need to make some saves. Okay. Just so you know, you're within 30 feet of this creature that's hitting like a truck. So you might want to move. So go ahead and attack the zombies.
If he closes his eyes, does it still affect him?
He would have disadvantage, but it would not affect him. Okay, that hits. Hit. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna disengage and move 30 feet north with Sienna? Okay. Give me a con save, and you take 5 necrotic damage as you like move out of the this like oppressive aura. Of course.
Throw the children at it.
Okay, you save and take some damage. Wait, let me double check this wording here. If, got it. Okay. So you save. I had actually misread this. So if you passed and I gave you damage from this radius thing, you do not take damage. So take off whatever damage it gave you earlier. If you did pass and it gave you damage from this thing.
But if you took damage and because you gave the 5 hit points damage, does the 5 hit points damage go on top of the whatever damage you give us, or is that part of it?
Yeah, so it has two radius aura things going on.
Absolutely.
So the first one is the 5 necrotic damage to anybody within 30 feet. The second one is its death gaze. So anybody that starts its turn within 30 feet of it, the thing can force it to make a con save on the start of their turn. So those are the two kind of radius things that are going on. For the death gaze, basically you have to make a save or you take damage, but if you pass, you don't take half. You don't take half if you pass. Okay? So, okay, that makes sense to me. Kira, so you don't take any damage aside from the 5 necrotic as you kind of like move away from its radius, get near Sienna. Anything else you want to do? Okay. It is the gas turn. The first one, he died, so it's not his turn. Second one, he's still alive, so he's going to attack. Davi, glutton for punishment. 19.
That'll hit.
Okay. 9 slashing damage, and you need to make a con save. Davi?
Sorry, that's going to be a crit fail.
Okay, that's not good. So as this thing like slashes in, digging underneath one of your plates and like tearing out a chunk from you, you are paralyzed, and you can make a save at the end of each of your turns to try to get out of that paralysis, but you're paralyzed right now. That's really bad. Okay. So that is that guy's turn. Sienna, it's your turn. You see Davi having a very, very bad time. He's about to have a very, very bad time.
I'm roughly 20 feet from the end of the room, right?
Yes.
How close are... I know Davi's like over there towards where we started. How close are the other two?
The other two, Kira is right next to you. Mezerack is to your south 30 feet. Davi is to your south 30 feet.
Mezerack drank the fly potion, didn't he?
Yes, I believe he did. Yeah.
All right. Hail Mary time, boys. Sienna tells everybody, get ready mentally. She moves about another 10 feet back. So she's 10 feet away from the other wall. And she casts Levitate on Davi.
Nice. Okay, so you cast Levitate on Davi. He is paralyzed and floating there like Han Solo, Star Wars.
And then the room shifts.
And then the room shifts, and everything up there with Davi and Mezerack comes crashing down. So Kira, you're gonna take a little falling damage. Sienna, you are not because you said you moved.
Akira's got his spider climb boots, doesn't he?
He does, so he doesn't take falling damage. Good call. So nobody takes any falling damage. Nobody needs to make any saves. Okay, how is this gonna work here? Because they're kind of like... There's a swarm above you. So I feel like they'll still like kind of fall and might hit one of you. But it wouldn't be nearly as bad as falling and like taking damage. Yeah, give me a dex saves.
Dex saves
for that. Yeah, because they're like all right above you, basically.
Absolutely.
But they're gonna take a bunch of damage.
19.
Okay? You don't take any damage. You don't take any
got
damage.
7.
Mezerack and Davi do not need to make any dex saves to avoid it, since they're like falling away from them and not on top of them.
Davi can't make one.
Well, Davi's floating, so he's just kind of like
Yeah.
slowly just drifting down to where we are.
So right now he's like floating on top at the top of the room right now, like 50 feet up.
I think he would, without pushing himself along, I think he just slowly floats back down like towards the ground, then would hover
I
5
think he
feet
just
off it.
stays where he is.
Let me check the limitation.
So all of these guys are going to take falling damage and like basically fall amongst.
Yeah, Davi's just sitting at the roof.
Okay, so 5d6.
What if we
Oh my god! All right, that's like a bunch of 6s. 18, 23. Jesus Christ! So everything takes 27 falling damage as they just come falling down. Just falls, causing dust and blood, and just it's disgusting. Going flying all over the place. It's like a knot of bodies before you in like this narrow corridor that you're now in, with people floating all over the place. Okay, so 27. That does a number to the swarm.
And if the nasty thing lands and it's roughly near Sienna, she will close her eyes to avoid it, or at least looking at it.
Okay. You do take 5 necrotic damage from it.
Yeah, I figured that much, but she's avoiding looking at it. She doesn't take the nasty.
Okay, so that is Sienna's turn. Extremely effective. Oh my god, okay. I gotta keep this straight.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Alright. Okay.
So Davi's gonna be floating there for like 10 minutes.
It is.
So you got 10 minutes to snap out of it.
It's the Bodak's turn. This like decrepit creature built out of hate and rotting body parts.
I assume it was knocked prone when it fell with everything else.
It was, and it will pop back up from prone, and it's definitely going to have cover. It's like in this throng of zombies, in like this tiny narrow space. One creature within 60 feet of it. It's going to look at Kira. Kira, make a con save. This is the one that does half if you pass. Okay. Okay. You pass. It tries to like lock eyes with you, but you avoid eye contact and take reduced damage from this thing's gaze. 7, 11. The roll's really shitty. You take half of 13, so 6. 6 necrotic damage. Okay, and that's all that happens on its turn. It is Davi's turn. Davi, give me a con save to get out of paralysis. You're muted.
Yeah, no, I was doing. Sorry, I had to do the roll. I got to switch back and forth.
No worries. You are no longer paralyzed, and you're floating.
And then that was the end of my turn, so I can't do anything.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Ghoul's turn. Ghoul is going to go after Sienna, since Sienna is the only one. It's gonna get up from prone, and it's still gonna have the movement to get to you.
Yeah, because they're speedy as hell.
They also like landed amongst you basically, so they wouldn't need more than 15 feet to get to you. So it's gonna go over to you, Sienna. It's gonna try to hit you.
I have plan, boys.
Let's say what it is because I'm about to.
14.
14. Shield.
Okay. It misses. And on your turn, you're gonna have to make a bunch of saves.
I flip the room again because I cast.
Mezerack, it's your turn. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you flip the room again, basically turning it up and
Sideways again.
over so that it's wide once again instead of like this narrow passageway that's causing them to like press in right near you. It's widened out again. Okay, Mezerack, it is your turn.
Right, Mezerack wants it to go the opposite way. This wants to do a spell so that it can just go.
You're gonna cast
Mezerack
another
does-
spell? Okay.
Sienna tells you she's got a plan. Don't worry about it.
Oh, don't do that, is what you're saying to me. As
Yeah, she has a plan.
Even as his eyebrows start to frost over, his eyes starts to frost over, and he just like
Cantrips will do it too, man.
yeah. So and he what's the word? He listening telepathically does not do his spells, and he holds off either wasting it or falling further back in.
You can hold your action if you'd like.
Okay, I'd like to do that if that's okay.
So what's the trigger? Once the room flips again?
No, the trigger will be after what's his name? Yeah, that tells me what the heck her plan is going to be. I think the trigger would be I'll just hold it.
You just all right. She tells you. You get the telepathic image. Fire. Just nothing but fire.
That's what you're going to do. You're going to torch him.
What do you think I'm gonna do? What does Sienna
Oh,
always do?
Okay, I know what he's.
Okay, I just hold my action. I just hold it indefinitely.
Okay, just in case
I
it
am going to
flips.
burning merry-go-round this room.
Okay, so that was Mezerack's turn. It is the swarm's turn. Sienna, give me a strength save.
Strength safe.
Yep.
Are they trying to grapple, not attack?
They're trying to. So they have like special effects as a swarm. They can cause you to make a strength save, and then they can attack.
All right. Strength
As
save.
long as they're. Oh, actually, no, they can't because they're below half health, so they can't do that. So they're just gonna attack you.
And they gotta try to get unprone as a horde.
Yeah. So they attack you 4 times. The first one is a crit. Second one is a 21. Third one is a miss. Fourth one is a miss.
What's my AC? All right, I'm at 17 AC.
Okay, so 2 hit.
All right.
First one does 7 plus. So first one does 11 for the crit, and then 8 for the regular hit. That's their turn. Top of the initiative. Kira, it's your turn. You're spider climbing like
So
above.
you said 19 altogether?
Yes.
All right.
Yep. Kira, you're spider climbing above You're on the. So basically, everything's like wide again, and you're on the floor again.
Sienna's hurting.
You are on the floor, and if you don't choose to avert your gaze and attack at disadvantage, you'll have to make another con save. Okay. It's 20 feet away from you. Yeah. Yeah. There's a ghast in front of it. There's swarm zombies. So if you use your javelin, you would be able to hit 3 entities, basically. It's like a lightning bolt spell, basically. Okay. So dex save for the Bodak. What's its dex? Oh, it's pretty. 15 for him for the swarm. Fail. For the ghast, fail. So what happens? Okay. How much damage does it do? Okay. So you kill the ghast. What was the total again? Okay. So the initial target took half because it passed, right? Or does it? It just hits him? There's no save or anything? No, there should be some sort of save. Let me look it up here.
Is it a like a weapon attack? So you have to do an attack roll.
Javelin of lightning. Okay, when you hurl it and speak its command word. Oh, okay, so you need to make you need to make a ranged attack against the Bodak. Yep. You have to make a ranged attack to see if you hit.
Yeah. So if it hits him, it's full damage.
Yep, that hits. Even with cover, it hits. So how much was it? Was it 19? Okay. Give me a con save. And you take 5 necrotic damage as well. Okay, that's a pass. So you take 5 necrotic damage and you pass the save and do not take any psychic damage. Got it. Okay. So that was Akira's turn. That guy's dead. That guy's also dead. Sienna.
All right, Sienna mentally is out. She's like, all right, rescue my ass now. And then she will cast Fireball, trying to hit the Bodak and as many other things as can.
Yeah, you can hit everything. It's like in amongst you, so
Fireball.
you would be able to basically take everything that is currently hostile with the radius of the fireball at the moment.
42 damage. DC 14 for half.
Okay, 42. So averting your gaze, that doesn't change anything for you, right?
No, I just pick a point I can see. So
Fail.
as long as I'm not looking directly at it.
Fail. They all fail. And they all they're all fucking dead. So what does it look like when you finish everything else off? And the room changes orientation again and causes you to fall.
Sienna conjures this little, like, baseball-sized orb with a little almost jack-o'-lantern face on it. It disappears, reappears right next to, like, the boat deck, and then, like, a laughing grin just explodes in a burst of fire. Avoiding her, of course, and Annie, because of the spell scope. And as she starts falling, she throws up her middle finger at the group and then casts Misty Step as a reaction to teleport as close back to the ground as she can.
Nice.
She'll probably still take like a little bit of falling damage, but not as much.
With Misty Step, I believe it just you can just do it.
Yeah,
and,
it's a
like,
reaction spell.
It's
Yeah,
not a
she-
reaction spell; it's a bonus action, so you can still do it.
Yeah,
And
she
it,
goes 30 feet.
I would rule that it would cancel out your fall damage.
Okay, so she's kind of like falling. She just poof, lands closer to the ground.
Very good. So at this point, it's a tall, narrow room. And there's just like bodies falling and splatting. Yeah. Kira's spider climbing. Mezerack is flying.
Davi's floating.
Davi is floating. And you see an additional corridor. This one, it's different than the others. It's pointed in a different direction. Like it's pointed towards the center of this like square that you guys have been walking around the outside of.
Suggest we get the hell out of this room, and since magic makes everything fucking topsy-turvy, she will politely beg, as there's a lot of blood like coming out of her, for health potions. So are you doing it as a spell or
It
a
would
magic
just be
item?
one person.
Huh.
If you cast, so right now is actually a good time to cast a spell because it would just turn it horizontal again and you won't fall. I feel like you could like orient yourself since there's no hostile threat to avoid falling.
All right.
So you're basically like running across the room every time you cast a spell to heal. Getting cardio in as well as some healing.
Oh, she's got 3 health potions, so she's gonna take. Because I'm well below half, so I'm gonna take 2 of my rigor potions. She'll give 1 to Davi.
Yeah, Mezerack is up for sharing some great healing. If you guys need it, just call for it now because he has several with her.
Going to need it.
He has several with her, so he gives 1 to you. Sienna.
I think.
Yeah.
Me and Davi are the only ones. Me, Davi, and you are the only ones.
And Davi, you need 1 as well. You get 1.
Is Lay on Hands technically a spell?
Yeah, but save it. She said. He says, and he passes 1 for you, and he drinks 1. And if Akira, when you need it, you call, and I take that off now.
How much is the greater one?
It's 4d4 plus 4, I believe.
So 48.
All right, and then she'll take 2 of her own potions, which are what are regular healing potions?
I think it's 1d4 plus 1. Davi will pocket the greater healing and take his 3 regular healing potions and just drink those. And then, do we have time for a short rest?
You can stop and take a short rest if you'd like.
It might be.
I mean, you. This place is obviously very dangerous, so you would be risking something coming upon you during that rest.
All right, never mind then.
I mean, you could.
I do have tiny hut.
No, let's keep going. We're good.
All right.
Davi did his math. He's fine.
Can she get the healing beats though too? Sienna. I got fucked. Sienna got fucked up.
Sorry, Akira, did you want a potion as well? Or not?
Oh.
Yeah, Mezerack gives you one, and he sort of looks at you, and he sort of says, "I don't see no blood. Why? Take it." He says, I
Yeah, Sienna was asking for the healing beats.
Mezerack, sorry, last thing. Mezerack says, "I still want that cloak."
And how much
The
do they
Nightmare
do?
Before Christmas. It's good. It's a good movie.
2d8 plus anything, or just all right. Sienna's feeling much better now.
Mm-hmm.
Dobby's
Okay.
gonna go trot towards the new hallway.
Sienna will follow.
All right, everybody's all healed up. You head towards this hallway. This one's different. It's not just a bare passageway, 5x5. This is a larger passageway. It would be like a drop if it had been oriented another way, but it's like a hallway. And at the end of the hallway, you see a door similar to the one that you saw on the way in. But this one, it doesn't have the face of a woman. It has a death's head and a gaping mouth.
How big is the mouth?
About as big as you would say you would be able to fit your arm inside it.
Oh no!
I have an idea.
I'll pop a divine
Mezerack
sense.
says, "You always
A
have
puppet.
Or something.
See,
What do you guys do?
Sienna pulls out that jewel.
Okay.
She tells Rig to hold it in his mouth, and then she sticks Rig in there.
You stick Rig in there?
Sacrificial.
Muffled car.
So the gem that you found earlier.
Yeah.
So you put the gem in there, and nothing happens. As Rig goes in there, it's not just like normal darkness; it's magical darkness. But Rig is not destroyed once he goes into the darkness. If you want, you can have him kind of like feel around to see if you can find anything in there.
Yeah.
So he feels around, and he comes upon a handle. He wouldn't pull it without your command, though.
Alright. She will stick his head back out, drop the gem back in her hand, and then would like, go on. He pulls the lever.
He pulls the lever, and
Pull the lever.
he is destroyed, but the door opens.
Yeah. Oh, the faintest sound of a guy zombie.
The door opens, and before you, you look up, and it's just like this inky black abyss, and you can see the floors that have been rotating earlier, just like stretching above you. Basically, it's like it doesn't have a roof. You're like looking up, and like you enter this room. It is not pitch black like the others. It's lit up, not from any visible light, but just your eyes perceive light. It's like you entered this like very large room with contraptions working above you in the black sky. You notice that the floor is covered in bones and fresher bodies, and at the end of this this 100-foot long and wide room with multiple columns just like spread out in 20-foot increments, basically almost like basically it's like a big wide room with like columns holding up nothing, similar to how like Harry Potter had like columns and it didn't really hold up anything. At the end of the room, you see a man standing at attention next to a door made of solid gold and ivory, with a woman carved into it in solid gold, in like a death's pose with like a scepter like stuck into her hands and just like standing there. The man looks like he's standing sentinel. As you enter this like wide open room with its fantastical ceiling, you hear a voice in your heads as this man walks closer to you. As he walks a little closer to you, he's about 80 feet away from you, but at this point you see that half of his lower jaw is missing. That like skull and bone is kind of like sticking out from one of the sides of his eyes, and instead of walking on two legs, he is walking on one leg and a scepter. So, the Witch Queen has called another protector. Mezerack, you will finally come.
Where is the Queen? Guardian.
Your eyes fall upon the crypt and the carved likeness behind him on the wall, the far wall.
Mezerack takes one step forward as he says, how long have you guarded her?
Centuries. Since before the spell plague. I know much of you, Mezerack, as I do the rest of you. I see through the eyes of the ones I turn.
Mezerack says, perhaps it is time for you to rest.
There is no rest for me. Not until I turn over the mantle of protection. She is dying. She's lived for a millennia and she's finally dying, her lifeblood being bled away. Something out there stealing from her. I think it's related to this death plague.
She looks, Mezerack looks towards Akira, Davi, and Sienna. And because this guardian is speaking in our minds, does it seem like it's on the same frequency that we are speaking in our minds, or is it a different level frequency?
I would say he would be able to hear you speaking telepathically like you were speaking out loud.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
He just looks. He looks towards you guys. If you got any.
Sienna steps forward a little bit, like not ahead of the group, like up next to Mezerack, and she says, "So, This place is a jail, not a tomb, it would seem.
It is a tomb. The protections are meant to keep others out. The lady can subtly influence the outside from here, but she doesn't like to be disturbed except for those she invites.
And those she invites are meant to stand watch.
I accepted the lady's gift gladly. I'm too weak to journey forward, away from her dominion, to destroy this threat that is causing her lifeblood to bleed away.
Is
So
she a
she
lich?
calls others.
Is that why she's suffering slowly from it?
As he kind of like, he wouldn't know how to react. He wouldn't know how to answer that because he doesn't know. Well, I guess he would know what a lich is. She's similar to a lich.
That would
I wasn't
explain why it's slowly affecting her.
I wasn't the first protector, so I did not know her in life.
Why did you take up the mantle to protect her? Why? What drove you to do this?
The spell plague was wiping out. Well, it was turning life upside down for me and my kin. Came here for help and assistance. The lady offered it. She offered the power to make a difference in return for service. She will uphold her end of the bargain once my service has ended and I have found another protector to take my place.
So she has promised you something that has not come about.
Not yet. I have not upheld my end of the bargain.
I understand. May we meet her?
You can, if you approach. He would basically like stand and allow you to approach if you do.
Absolutely.
Sienna will, like, as Mezerack's walking forward, Sienna will kind of like direct her thoughts to this watcher or this guardian and ask, is there no way to protect her without someone having to take the post?
That is beyond my understanding. The lady provides.
So Mezerack makes his way towards this golden ivory door.
Yeah, it's like if you've ever seen like a crypt of like a queen or something like that, where it's like a carved out statue within a wall of like their likeness in life.
Like a sarcophagus?
Yeah, it's like a sarcophagus built into the wall. So, Mezerack, as you come within 50 feet, the lady is able to speak with you.
Mm.
You have finally answered my call. I had hoped you would come. I apologize for the rude welcome, but you must understand. Not just anyone is worthy of protecting me.
What is your name?
My name is Nethys.
Says, I have had many terrible visions and dreams, but none so pressing as one where my lifeblood itself was being drained from me. But every time I came across something similar to this, it led to this temple. What is it you want?
The question is, what do you want?
Mezerack looks back towards the rest of the party.
Can we hear what
The rest
she's
of
saying to
you-
him?
Yeah, she would be only speaking to Mezerack because he is within 50 feet, unless you all want to go within 50 feet as well. Okay. Yeah, you hear what the queen says to Mezerack as well. She's like basically broadcasting within a certain area.
Guess Sienna will do the same.
Okay. So you're all listening. So what is it you want? You all made it here. Mezerack was the one I called. But in my eyes you are all worthy. If you will take the mantle.
Sienna will say, I will not take the mantle, but I know of what ails you, what drains your life force. Is there any? What I want is a way to deal with that.
Meraxes, what have we gathered about the force that is intruding upon my domain? She says with imperious spite. Lady, seems it's something called the Soulmonger. Held by a force that, although powerful, does not rival your own power, milady. Do we know about anything about how it works?
Sienna will kind of, politely clear her throat, nobly, because she knows how to deal with fancy people. She goes, we know that whatever it is, the soulmonger disrupts seemingly the natural order. It strips souls away from their natural destinations to wherever it is properly located. And as far as we know, we do not know truly where, but from what research I've been able to gather, and from the others who have been farther than I have, it has a connection with Omu. I do not know if it's there or if it's just connected.
Yes. One of the cities within my domain.
Where is the location?
If you agree to serve me, I will tell you the location, but I do not give things freely. You've come here, so you are worthy of my attention. I do not give gifts.
That's right.
Sienna was like, whatever this power is of the soulmonger, it even defies deities, stripping souls away from even the deity's hands. A single guard, no matter how powerful, isn't going to stop the draining. In order to stop it, we must find it, and we must destroy it. And no matter how many people you have sitting here, it is out there. And it will eat you. It will slowly devour you. No guard can stop that.
Then I suppose I can't bind you to my domain. She There's like a pregnant pause as the voice that's like feminine but very deep and full. It like fills up the space as it speaks. She pauses. I will aid you. However, you will have to submit to a chaos if you want my aid.
Submit to
A geese is how it's spelled.
A gas, a compulsion, a control, she says. As Sienna says. Essentially.
Basically, like, it's a mind control over a very specific task. So, an example of how it can work, it can cause somebody to go and kill someone. And if they try to resist it, they will take psychic damage. But they can resist it, and it can be removed if you find a powerful enough caster.
Think the suggestion spell turned up to 11.
Yeah, exactly. It's like unlimited range as well, so she doesn't need to be like near you to cause you to go and do this stuff.
It's kind of like a brainwashing.
Yeah.
But I like the. I mean, okay, in character. Mezerack says, he turns towards the rest of the party. He says, "It is a heavy price, but one that in ending the death curse is a huge step towards that. First, finding the location."
But then Sienna will ask, what exactly does the gas entail? What will its specific order be?
To free the souls captured by the soulmonger. That's all I ask.
Can Sienna roll a intuition?
Yeah, roll insight.
Oh yeah, insight. Abilities. Insight. Come on. Oh, crit.
Yeah, something about the way that she says that. Probably a little more to it than that.
Sienna will politely say, "Now, my lady, if we are to do this, we expect only to be fair. If we want to serve you, the whole truth to that. A gas is a heavy thing to willingly be put on someone. If we are to accept it, we must know 100% what you want."
Meraxes, he gets a little angry at the way you're speaking to her. You will speak to my lady with deference. Kind of like stomping his staff down. It's like thunder as he stomps it. Angered.
And she'll turn to like, "Control your guard. I mean no offense. I understand fully well your power and what you entail. I know magic quite well. I simply wish to know the truth."
Meraxes is near the end of his life, but he is still powerful. I suggest you heed his words. But she would say, you will free the souls within the manga. And you will take a gift along along with you to do the task.
What is the gift, my lady?
Meraxes produces a small token. It looks almost like a crystal ball.
I'm going to Arcana the shit out of that thing.
Yeah. Necromancy.
Yeah, because I got.
You don't
I got
even need an Arcana check. You're just like, yep.
I got a crit on my Arcana with a 20. With a.
If
Arcana.
you've ever run into a
Jeez.
lich before, it's very similar to what a phylactery is like.
A soul container. She
That is
says.
a soul container.
It's
Wait, what?
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
She asks, "Is it a modified phylactery? Just a simple soul catcher?"
An astute one. No wonder you made it here alive. Yes, it is a soul catcher. But the few souls that have been captured so far, surely they're worth the aid that I can provide in ending this curse once and for all. All I want is, well, for the souls that were due to me, but were stolen.
Out of character.
Sienna know if this soul catcher, from like what she got and what she's been told, is it like a continuous thing, like a mini soulmonger, or is it just like a one shot sort of thing?
It's so based on like kind of how you gather it, this is not like a regional effect at all. It's like if something dies near it, their soul would be captured.
Oh, so,
Or
just,
if souls were released, it would capture it if it's nearby.
so just an immediate
Yeah.
usage thing.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
out,
you were brought down to. I mean, you would be dead anyway, but you would be captured by this thing instead of the soulmonger.
out of character. Is this the thing that was oh, it wasn't. Okay.
Valindra. No,
And like you kind of,
I know all about Valindra.
yeah, you put together. This is why there's so many dead bodies in here. They're feeding their souls to this thing. They needed to be right near it to feed souls into it.
Oh man,
You
I'm
look
not.
around, it's like flaming fists, people in mage garb, regular kind of like tribal looking people in various stages of decomposition. So she kind of puts this deal before you. Sacrifice the souls that are already captured by the monger in order to end the death curse, gain access to her armory and to her knowledge and intelligence that she's been gathering from all over the island.
See, I guess Sienna will look to the lady like, I guess not like look at her because she's not there, but you know what I mean.
It's like a sarcophagus. Yeah.
She's like, the suffering of a few for the good of the many, so to say.
Yes. Do not suffer. There will only be nothing.
Give us some time to deliberate. We're not going anywhere anytime soon from this room because anything here is yours. But to ask that is not an easy thing of good-minded people.
The only thing I used to have was time. Now my time is short. Let's deliberate quickly.
I guess Sienna will turn to the group and, like, for the first time speaking without telepathic, she flat out says, I'll leave this to a vote. Do we make a few more suffer for a chance to get to Omu? Or do we turn her down?
If she could smile, she would give a grin. Riches beyond your imagination. Behind this door. My royal vaults untouched by time since before the spell plague.
Oh,
That does pique Sienna's interest because like pre-spell play artifacts are what she specializes in and is her like goal to hunt down.
Mezerack
But-
can't do it though. I already know that Mezerack. Well, as it was being explained, because at first it was like, oh yeah, do this to
Only a few souls in return for ending the death curse and the power locked away within my vaults. Okay.
All right, while he's doing that, I gotta know. Davi's gonna approach her and just ask what is entailed in taking on the mantle of her champion.
Since your friend has pointed out, it would be best if you were able to move freely. Submission to a geese would suffice.
So if we become her champion, we can't leave the temple anymore?
You can leave the temple. Just you'll have to do what she wants. If you get to the soulmonger, where like all these souls are getting stolen away.
Right. So even if we become, one of us takes on the role of her champion, we're still essentially under the effects of a guise.
Yes.
I think she's probably like trying to politely say like, "Do what I tell you, or you don't get to leave here." She's
that's basically like this is the.
She's
is the
politely
deal.
offering us a bargain. That
You can submit to a geese, do what she wants, and you can leave. Or, well, I'll get a little more time. And the threat hangs like
so ask
heavy.
her. And that will be the specific terms of the geese, to fill the soul catch with these souls and have it delivered to you. Nothing else added on.
Yes.
And upon returning of the orb to this temple, the geese
You will
will
be
be
free
broken.
to leave. And the geese will be broken. Your task will be complete. Although I would have more tasks if you would be willing to take them at that point.
So is there no bonus then to becoming her champion, as opposed to taking the geese?
Well, you saw what happened to the other
The
dude.
geese is becoming her champion.
Okay.
It would be one and the same, basically. You could, like, pledge yourself, but she's still going to make you take a geese.
All right.
Well, is your question like once you become imagine you choose to become the champion for her? Are you asking like, are you going to get like a Vorpal blade and stuff like that?
No, it's more. I'm just trying to see what the.
You would be getting very nice stuff.
I guess to explain it to you, Davi, the original deal she was talking about was having Mezerack or one of us replace the undead dude standing to the side.
Yep.
She just wanted like a changing of the guard. Sienna negotiated it to, instead of one of us having to stay, is we all get to leave, but we have to give her those souls.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically the deal.
I was just trying to find the bonus to being a champion. Like,
we get to leave. She gives us some shit, we get to leave, but we still are compulsed to do what she says either way.
Unless of course we break
and
that.
And it would only come up once you've come to the soulmonger.
Right at the end.
Yeah.
So it's tempting.
Davi's contemplating taking the role of champion. I'm just trying to figure out.
I think at this point
worth
she doesn't want another guard anymore. Sienna's kind of talked us into this deal by accident. Like she sees a better.
She likes this a little more. Yeah.
Instead of just having someone try to slow down, she now wants somebody to stop it. Now that she knows that the idea that it can be done. Sienna might have talked us into a corner here.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
A simple task.
Yeah.
All you need to do is bring the orb. and bring it back.
Is there any chance of getting an out of character conversation?
Yeah. What's up?
Sorry, man. Oh, because the thing is this, right? There's two ways. I know from Mezerack, right? One is like, hell no, absolutely no, nothing for money. Hell no. But the other side is like,
I mean,
Yeah.
out of character,
yeah.
she's at minimum as powerful as a lich. She's probably a demi-lich,
Yeah.
if not more powerful.
She'll kick our ass
Yeah,
anyway.
you don't know what her capabilities are in her immediate vicinity.
Yeah.
She's at least comparable to a lich at the weakest. And Valindra was a lich, just a regular old lich, and you saw what she did.
Valindra. Was Valindra a witch?
Yeah, the elf that killed Haroon,
Yeah,
that's Valindra Sorrow Song. I think that's how her name is. She is a high-level lich.
Yeah, that's not jokey. That was.
Sienna knows who Valindra is because her master was like a rival to Valindra. She knows a lot about her.
Yeah, Darby and Akira, you guys, what do you honestly think? What do you honestly want to do? What's your possibilities?
If Davi takes on the role of champion, does he get to become immortal? In the terms of slow aging? Like what this guard has gone through?
Yeah, but I don't think you get to leave.
Yeah. Basically, she would explain that if you were to drink of the silver liquid, you would become effectively immortal, but you would be bound to this place.
Okay, so if you do take on the role of champion, you can't leave. Okay.
You're basically being a tomb guard.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
would you like that, or would you like to be under the geese, get stuff from her, and do the thing already, or the opposite? Because there seems to be like three options.
So Davi, what Davi wants, and he'll think it, and I guess she'll hear it more than likely, is that he wants to end the death curse, but he also wants to become essentially immortal or have a longer life. So he would be willing to become her guard, if he can go and stop the death plague first. And he's thinking this, so I guess since everyone else has telepathy, they know what he's thinking, and so does she.
She goes, oh, Sienna says, well, if I'm reading the situation right, if you're her guard, no matter your immortality, you don't get to leave here, unless I would assume she could.
Unless she changed her mind. And Akira, what is it that what are you thinking then?
He's still gone.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah, he had to go get the door.
Right.
I guess Sienna will just kind of say it out loud at this point. She's like, making deals with devils. It's never a smart thing, but it does always get results. She kind of, she grits her teeth. Like, you can hear them grinding. Like, at the end of the day, those lost, isn't it worth it to save the whole world for a handful? Because this death curse affects everything. It's defying the gods themselves.
Akira, what do you think?
So,
Davi will ask the demi-lich, the lady, if I agree to serve, can I leave to end this death curse and then return?
You may leave while you're under the influence of the geese, so I know you return. And I will aid you.
I guess it's the end. Say, well, at that point, once the geese is broken, when we complete our side, it'll be your choice if you stay or not. Is that not right, my lady? Says the sarcophagus.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like run through the logic of like.
Navi wants
what
to become the guard, but he wants to be able to leave as the guard. Is that right?
Yeah. So
exactly.
So you want to be able to leave and not be under a geese, and then come back and become the guard.
Well, if I can become the guard now and still leave, but then it's just I'm compelled to come back, or I have to come back, I'll agree to that.
Can I say
So
one thing?
basically, to become bound to her, it is also to
I'm-
be bound to this place. So you can't become
Okay.
immortal and then leave. Unfortunately,
Okay,
So, yeah, I was
so
gonna say like the guard in
she
this
might
place.
she might be willing to allow the rest of your companions not to be under a geese if you're willing to go and do this and then be compelled to come back, become a guard.
okay. So Dobby will agree to a geese that completes this task, but it's only on Dobby, and then he's also compelled to come back.
I think. Can I say one thing? Because I don't want to piss on your parade, and you no, not even slightly. Whatever you want to do, I think you need to be able to do it. That's what I really do, honestly. Let me tell you one thing though. I think as we're talking, because we're on this telepathic wavelength. One of the things that it's actually smoother the conversation than how we talk like verbally like this. It's much clearer. There's images and stuff as well. One of the images that you see clearly, and you know to kind of be true because this is how it goes, is you know for a fact that Mezerack was in two minds, and that Mezerack was like, no, I can't do it. I can't go that direction. That's one. Two, you know that if we were to go together and do this, save the, kill the few souls and save the many, that Mezerack would actually, if that was your goal, Mezerack would actually try to kill you just before you were able to do that. And you know that you see that image clearly. It's not like something you can hide.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah. So you would essentially try to stop me from completing the task at the end.
He would definitely try and stop you completing the task at the end for the sake of those souls that you would take. Because even though this is like but that's what he would do, irrespective. I don't know if that's like logic thing, probably, but
So yeah, I mean, essentially, you would try to make sure that all the souls are safe.
Definitely that.
I guess Mezerack would try to do the sudden but inevitable betrayal at the end.
At the end.
Yeah.
Then like Davi,
and I could definitely fail.
Gets this gist from you the whole time.
I'm squishy. I can fail. Trust me on that.
Yeah, but so anyone that dies gets sucked into the orb.
Mm-hmm.
And Davi's under the compulsion anyway. It would be under the compulsion either way.
Yeah, but I think just out of character for a second, I think it's really important that you do what you really want to do, what you want to do, man. That's always the best. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. It's just having that knowledge now. Is it going to make a difference?
I mean, Davi's also a paladin. If he says something, he's going to set himself to it.
Yeah, it's.
Really, this. It's good. It's good. It's good, man. It's really good.
Neiman
So,
knowing, somebody would, stand against him. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
classic paladins would still do what they intend to do.
Absolutely. And not stand against you out of because like Mezerack's got love for all of you guys, man. So there's no, it's not on that level. It's just it's like when two paladins have to fight almost, which I'm sure has happened in the past,
Right. It would come down to Javi would have to kill Mez if he tried to stop him. And
he wouldn't have to kill him. He could always just bonk him on the head. He's an old man. It don't take a lot to knock him out.
Can I do? I can do Divine Smite as non-lethal damage, right?
How old is Mezerack supposed to be?
Shut up, man. I'm young.
He's young in spirit.
Give him some bran flakes.
What?
And put him in front of Jeopardy. He'll be asleep.
Just give him too many prunes.
My patience runs thin.
Sienna will go, well, I'm in the vote that we work with her however we choose, but she can provide us with things to reach Omu, and no matter what, we have to find that place and stop the Soulmonger. We're given an option here. We have to take it one way or the other.
Fuck it. Dobby's gonna kneel.
Davi kneels. She waits to see how the others react.
Sienna does not kneel, but she inclines her head that,
Okay.
Falling, that, Davi will take up the gas and be her champion afterwards.
Mezerack and Akira.
Yeah, Mezerack knows this is a heavy, what's the word? Heavy weight, heavy decision that the paladin has taken. Like heavy, and in many ways is way braver on many levels than Mezerack, and stronger. Couldn't take, because it's the easy way actually to do. I want everyone saved, go down the right. That's easy actually in a sense. So he just puts his weight on his staff, knowing full well that the end of this pathway ends in either his death or his friend's death. That's it.
Okay. So you're all gonna submit to the geese to.
No,
I
just
thought
Davi.
it was Davi.
Just
It was
Davi?
his plan of, he would come back and be her champion and be the only one under the geese, as long as we promised help him.
Okay.
And so the added addition to the geese is that I would be compelled to return, which I would do anyways.
Okay.
But
So it usually calls for a save, but
Davi
you
just lets it
submit
in.
to it
Choosing to
fully,
fail it.
and she casts it as a 9th level geese.
Yeah. 20+ character.
Oh, don't you fuck up on me now. Hang on, don't do anything.
Now
okay,
the rest of you, what shall I do with you? Raxes. The vault is only for my champions.
So I get to go in then?
Yes.
Fuck yes.
That's, kind of stink eye Akira, and just continue with our plan, lady. Allow us to leave, and we will assist your champion on his quest. One way or another, the Soulmonger has to be stopped. You will get your due.
Submit to my command.
I thought that was the deal Davi was taking, to allow us to leave, if he would be your champion.
But what use do I have of you if you are not serving me?
So not to retcon or anything, but the agreement to the Gase was that they would not have to serve, and Davi would come back and be the champion.
The agreement was you agreed on your conditions that you would go and do this and accept the geese and come back.
Yeah, so they did not have to.
That doesn't mean that she's going to.
A deal with the devil, man. That's how it just goes. Just
Well, Sienna, we'll just simply ask, like, question I guess now is,
You
do
will
we
not
get to leave
assist your comrade?
Yes. Look into my.
Then you will take the geese. What was that?
How much gold? He said.
More gold than you can imagine. And looking around at like the extravagance around you, you don't doubt that.
Sienna will say, seeing that she will not let us go without the geese is clearly her intention.
I'm dying here, man.
I know.
All right, what's your final decision?
No,
Yes or no?
Sienna will only take the geese of
Yeah.
with the soul catch and returning it, and then being allowed to leave.
Or actually, Mezerack would take the geese and just try and break it at the end of the day. Just buy them time to kind of break it in some way, form, shape, or size, even if it means hiring, which he was going to hire anyway for NPC, but hiring an orchid on himself or something like this. You know, it's just like because she's not getting that thing at the end of the day, but he'll do the geese so that we can at least to buy us time. You know, something like that.
But
Okay.
yeah, Sienna tells her she will only accept the geese of the original condition of assist with the soul catch, return it, and then be allowed to leave.
Sienna,
Okay.
can I get the forward?
So you guys, so the three of you accept just the initial geese. You don't need to submit to becoming the protector since Davi accepted that, and she will use a 8th level spell, a 7th level spell, and then another 7th level spell. You'll be under the geese for a year instead of indefinitely. Satisfactory. And as she says
who gets the 8th and who gets the 2 7s?
You get the 8.
Who looks the most powerful? Probably Mezerack. Mezerack was the one she called initially, so probably the 8 for him.
I'm an old man. I'm 7. No, okay.
So she casts the geese's, basically compelling all of you to aid Davi in his quest to bring back the souls of the soulmonger to keep her from dying, essentially.
So she casts a gaggle of geese?
A gaggle of geese, exactly. Thank you for destroying my my atmosphere.
What was that?
She casts an actual gaggle of geese. We're not under control. It's just a flock of geese appears.
Wow. Yeah. So she casts the geese, and you guys are all under her compulsion. Very well. And she opens it, and the vault is before you, and I will give you all of the treasures that are within in our messaging, because it's going to be a lot. And I will also give you the information that she would trade with you.
Sweet.
Can Sienna get any magic
exchange
power from her?
A magic power. She only gives magic powers to those that are bound to her service within.
No hot spells.
She would, but you'll be stuck here.
She'll just take what equipment. She'll just take the treasure and fulfill the geese and leave after that.
Okay. So that so this is kind of how we transition out. The four of you stand resolute before the sarcophagus. Meraxes withers and turns to dust in the wind as the geese is enacted.
Do we get his staff as part of the treasure?
Yeah, you would. So the new agents of the witch queen Nephis have been activated, and I will give you the things that you were given in exchange in the chat. That's what we're going to call it.
Just real quick before we break this up, just some flavor stuff. Does she have like an emblem or, interestingly enough, a color scheme?
Yeah, she has. What kind of emblem would she have? A cup, like a chalice.
Okay.
A silver chalice, like surrounded by blue fire.
Does Davi become an anti-paladin now?
He becomes an oathbreaker.
Wow.
So he would switch over his class over to
Yeah.
Oathbreaker.
Yeah, he would change his subclass to Oathbreaker, and he would get those spells, and I can give him
Wow. Wow.
Technically,
materials
won't I
for
still
that.
be a Vengeance Paladin?
No, once you're an Oathbreaker, you lose all your whatever you were, and you become an Oathbreaker.
We can work with it. I don't want to like rain on your parade.
No,
but I'll at least give you some extra powers that are like.
Oathbreakers are much better. They are.
I have no problem with it. I just it's just like just a mechanic thing. Like if being a Vengeance Paladin would it technically still be breaking the oath? But
You're
I mean, if it is,
with your god
that's a good
for
point.
another.
I don't know. What's your god?
Tyr, Justice.
I don't
Here's a
think
good
she's
god.
down with
You
that.
sworn to serve. I'm assuming an evil thing now.
Wow.
But Davi doesn't know it's evil because
Really?
he didn't ask.
What's your intelligence score?
All
All right.
It's 8.
That's where we're gonna end the video. We're gonna keep talking now.